same as usual, I'll just be posting a few links and I'll be with you in a second. If you're watching the video on YouTube, obviously you can probably skip ahead until, you know, my webcam feed actually appears and I'll be actually talking. And if all goes well, that'll be at the 5-minute mark. Hey Nick, who's got IBS and just finished the intro video for Uplift? Horrible noise, in square brackets. This guy, presumably meaning Nick himself, has again. Uplift is a project Nick's doing using High Magic Low Lives. I'll be in that, and I'm very excited for it. No notice in the chat, so I'll just give Nick a quick shout out. You've got coffee and you're full of bolognese? Heck yeah. I mean, I just ate a late breakfast and then just had some dirty fries for lunch, but I'm doing pretty... Oh, thank you, Nellis. Right on schedule. Yep, I'm doing pretty good. Just a couple more links to go. And I'll be right with everyone. I hope you're having a good day, by the way, Nellis. Nellis, 6 years ago you were getting paid to look at people's bank statements for previous years, sometimes directly on their account on the website, to do taxes for them. Earlier this morning you tried to look up your own and discovered you can't do that anymore. You immediately felt quite capable of decapitating someone with a brick. Damn. Yeah, I heard in America it's deliberately hard to file your taxes just because there's companies that make a lot of money providing it as a service who keep lobbying the government not to simplify the process, which is ridiculous. Because, like, I don't really have to file my own taxes because I get pretty much all my income from my employers who just take the tax off for me. And, occasionally the government will send me a letter explaining I paid too little, and they'll just let me set that up manually. But yeah. Really sorry to hear things are that bad, Nerlis. You can only download last year's taxes and only in file formats that are specific to the program you can't use without a paid subscription. Okay, that is wild. Oh yeah, I've done my link, so let's just get that webcam on. How's it going, everyone? I am leaning back in my chair far more than I probably should, but let's just adjust a little. Yeah, that'll do. You can kind of look at the Excel version with LibreOffice, but only kind of. Okay. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like, if anything, I think they'd want you to pay your taxes properly and on time. Anyway, today is my, Mondays are effectively my Saturdays, so this is my weekend, but I hope everyone else has had a good one. Cosplay-wise, I mean, I've uploaded some photos on the usual social medias, but I'm basically just working on a jacket. I spent this morning struggling with the sleeves, so Nullus, your government wants you to get it wrong so they can punish you for it. Well, damn. Yeah, struggling with the sleeves of my jacket. So I'll, after the stream I'm hopefully going to be able to get that finished and carry on. But to be fair, pretty much most of my jacket is together now. Like, I've got the main body and sleeves for both the lining and the main body assembled. And when I attach the collar and the front band, and the sleeve cuffs, that will basically combine everything together. You know, it'll lock in the edges to the lining, and I'll have a complete jacket, which is very exciting because it's my first finished garment for like 3 years or so. And you know, because I was going for extra credit, I made a little welt pocket in the lining, just so I've got somewhere to put my phone. Let's get the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles going. And then obviously my next project's going to be some ears for this Tiefling cosplay. Yep, there it is. Don't know why, but the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles seems to get picked up slightly slower than the last few games I played. Nerlis, it used to be free and easy to look at your own accounted activity, but they realised there was something they weren't gouging you for. Hey. I mean, to be fair, oh yeah. So this is going to be based on... Hey Willow, how's it going? This is going to be based on The Hand of the Baskervilles, which is actually one of my favourite Sherlock Holmes stories.
Sholmes's cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us. Wisps of vapour flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited breathlessly in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smouldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. "Look well, Wilson," Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. "For this is the diabolical hound of the Baskervilles."
Okay. Well, no, you just woke up from a nap. Heck yeah. Best thing to do on a Monday. Notice you're in a pretty good mood until you started looking too. You finished off that haunted house bit in D&D last night. The Bone Claw got to do a plunging attack against a chain devil. Oh yeah, this is the Bone Claw that's been adopted by one of the party members, isn't it? If I recall what you've been saying about your D&D campaign. Heck yeah. And yep, Willow, hopefully it was one of the good kinds of naps, Willow, where you wake up feeling refreshed. Instead of the sort I tend to get where I wake up dizzy and sometimes tired than when I started. Okay, so quick recap. The protagonist started in Japan. He was accused of murder, but his best friend, who's a law student, defended him. Or rather, had him be his own lawyer while serving as an assistant. Second case, he'd basically smuggled him on the ship because he was going to study in Britain. And mysteriously died. Turned out he tripped over a cat and broke his neck. Third case, I'd defended a rich Irishman who was accused of murder. And even though I got an innocent verdict, well, not guilty verdict, he burned to death in a mysterious accident. Fourth case, another Japanese student was accused of an unlethal stabbing. Like, someone was stabbed, but they were in a coma. And, yep, got him off. And Sherlock Holmes has now given the protagonist and his assistant an apartment to use as an office. And apparently this is 2 months later. Anyway, The Hand of the Baskervilles is actually my favourite Sherlock Holmes story, just because it's got that sort of slight horror element to it, which I think really sort of resonates well with the mystery. And I'm not sure if there's it's true in other parts of the world, but sort of ghost dogs are kind of a big thing in British folklore. Like a lot of different parts of the British Isles have their own regional variant and name for them. Basically, if you're walking out alone at night and you see the shadow of a dog behind you, just keep walking. Never try to pet it, it's a bad idea. Anyway, enough chattering, let's get going. Our first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. In that disconcerting courtroom experience, we were first thrown on the day we arrived in the country. And in Sazeki-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we'd emerged victorious. However, then there came an abrupt end to our opportunity to appear in court. "Hey, Icky, it's indeed Brie, and how be thee?" Which was hardly surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land. So life in our little office was very quiet. Yep, that's it, preempted you. Preempted. Not post-empted, preempted. That is. Okay, you got me there, Icky. Preempted. You're hardly tired, but otherwise good. How am I? Yeah, I'm good. Dressed as a tiefling, so always a plus. Just got that purple energy going. Spent the morning working on a jacket. Well, rather the sleeves of a jacket, which is extremely frustrating. Basically, because I was doing a lining, I sort of left the cuffs unfinished. But it turns out the cuffs were designed to be done while the sleeves were still laid out flat before I did the final seam. And it turns out I was supposed to wedge stitch as well, so yeah, the opportunity to do that's passed because the whole thing's assembled. So yeah, it's probably not going to look quite as good as it could have, but I'm sure it'll be fine anyway. Until it was shattered one day by that fateful telegram. 15th of April, 9:13 a.m. Neruhodo's legal consultancy. Knock, knock, knock. Okay, this is a nice office. That morning, I was woken by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy. But after he'd gone, so that's who Sam's behaviour became very obviously strange. Does that say Sam? Yes? Is it time to leave for court already? Let me see. What case is it today? I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment, am I? Oh, no, of course not. How silly of me. Well, I think Iris said she'd make us breakfast this morning. So shall we go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite? Yes. Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food. She does, doesn't she? And once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in fighting fit form. Let me see. What case is it today? Here we go again. Oh no, she's stuck in a loop. Okay, let's look around Naruhodo's office. It's spring at last, and the weather is warmer now. But I love the smell of fire and the steam rising from the kettle. Oh, would you like some tea, Naruhodo-san? Thank you, Susato-san, but I'm alright for now. With the green tea Susato-san makes me from time to time, and Iris's unique herbal infusions, this place is paradise for a true tea lover. Okay, how'd they get green tea in the Victorian era then? Because, you know, they're probably only on a student stipend. And even if there was a way to get green tea over to Britain, it must be ridiculously expensive. Green tea is such a wonderful accompaniment to British tea cakes, don't you think? We've only been here in London for about 2 months, but my desk is starting to look a little messy already. You could tidy up once in a while. Susato-san, I always say, the more the merrier. Making a mess is a small sacrifice to pay for being able to further your studies. And time spent tidying is time you can't devote to the same cause. And time spent on ridiculous arguments is time that could be best spent on simple housework. Oh yeah, thanks for giving Aki the shout out, Nellis. She wins, but I'm supposed to be the lawyer here. Okay, now here's something you could never have gotten in the sort of original Game Boy Advance games. Just look at that Steam animation. Look at it. I mean, obviously, you probably wouldn't have been able to fit it on the resolution of a Game Boy Advance or DS screen anyway, but look at it. Although, I do miss the fact being able to get that running gag on every ladder. It feels wrong not to be able to click on that ladder. Just saying. So this is the tea set that Susato-san brought with her from Japan. Let's hope she hasn't noticed me slipping sugar and milk into my cup while she makes it. It's just so bitter. Tea is a drink to be enjoyed, Naruhodo-san. You really don't have to force yourself to drink it, you know. I don't like to see you screw up your face, so. A shovel. That spade has been here since we started renting the place. Oh, that's not a spade, Naruhodo-san. It's a shovel. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade. Wait, I thought it was the other way round. No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel. Okay, there we go. I don't want to dig a hole for myself, so let's leave it. So, wait, a space in the US step ladders. Okay, we got anything else around here? Ooh, that's something. The Daruma doll I brought with me from home. Still with only one eye coloured in. I said I'd coloured the other eye once I won my first court case here in Britain, but you have one, haven't you? Twice, in fact. Because I feel as though I'm still lacking as a lawyer. I tell you what, why didn't you colour the other eye once you think I'm a proper fully fledged lawyer? If you insist. Okay, what have we got here? Ooh, calligraphy set. This must be the telegram. Let's see. No, you mustn't look at that. Not under any circumstances. Alright, I won't. Okay, foreshadowing. I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo-san, but you can be very mischievous at times. And then put the telegram away if you don't want people to looking at it. We were rather lucky to find that old aquarium left behind here. The prawns we put in there are doing rather well, and the anemones too. It's a wonderful invention, isn't it? The sea, behind glass, inside your room. No, seems kind of fishy to me. Another example of Great Britain's greatness. Having to clean this out and change the water isn't so great though, is it? Oh yeah, when I was a kid, my parents had a fish tank that they'd always, and one of my and my brother's chores was basically cleaning it. Do you know, I've never seen inside your room there, Suzato-san. I never even peeped inside. I should think so too. A young maiden's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets, you know. Whatever do you say, young maiden? Okay. Let's do some presenting. It means a great deal to me, you know, that you cherish his armband so, and wear it each time you appear in court. Well, it's very important to me. It's what shows that I'm a lawyer. And whenever I wear it, I feel as though it gives me strength, through Kazuma. I absolutely can't be without it, especially when I'm at a critical point in a trial. But just the other day, I noticed you were wearing it when we went to visit the park. Sometimes I forget to take it off. Okay, the telegram. So, what was it about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean. A telegram? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, this is not going to be good, is it? Sorry, but you're not going to get away with that. Well, I didn't think I would. Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing. Nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. It was just a boring old telegram. That's 3 times now she's tried and failed to convince me it was nothing. I promise that I'll tell you about it at some point. Alright, I understand. Don't tell me the defendant from the last case died at sea. I suppose Zeki-san will have arrived back in Japan by now, won't he? Yeah, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Okay, she wouldn't be able to hide it that well. If that's the news we got. Which would mean he should have completed the voyage already, or just be a few days anyway, away. A fortnight ago we had that very long telegram from him. Do you remember? Complaining of seasickness. But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well. Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? I was just wondering, what might have become of Sozeki-san had he stayed in London, that's all. You mean, as regards Lord Van Zykes? The Reaper? Yeah, I can't help wondering if seasickness would have paled into insignificance in that case. The Reaper. What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper, right? Like the way that nightmarish trial ended on the very day we arrived in London. Even 2 months on, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery. Yeah, but at least Suzeki-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably that means that the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the City of London, perhaps? Even if that's the case, it's little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding. If the legend of the Reaper is to be believed, it would mean he wields the sword of justice himself. Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely, not wielding that sword against more acquitted defendants. No, I don't think so. Apparently Lord Van Zykes hasn't appeared in court once since our last encounter. Yep, Since Suzaki-san's trial, he's withdrawn from the judicial service again, it seems. Really? Just like before, when he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. So it's just been me who's had to face him in a recent spate of trials then. Just my luck. Okay. Well, seasons don't fear the reaper, and neither does the wind, the sun, or the rain. We can be like they are. Wait, I've made that joke, haven't I? Oh well. I wonder if our luck doesn't come into it. Sorry, what was that? Oh, nothing. Never mind. Okay, let's go get breakfast. Shrooms is sweet, he sure is. "15th of April. Shrooms is sweet." Morning, Reno. Morning, Susie. Okay, that's their name in the 4Kids dub. Exactly, Icky. Nanny. Good morning, Iris. Iris. What is it, Reno? Oh yeah. I forgot to mention, but I've set up... I won't know if they work until it happens, but I've set up... Why is that violin music playing? I've set up, completely new... I've actually remembered to set up my Raiden, sub-messages. So that's going to be fun. Icky Foo, news just in. The wind and the sun hold similar opinions to Lorraine. What is it, Bruno? What's that terrible noise? It sounds like a cat being strangled. Oh yes, you noticed that, did you? It's kind of weird to see him without his greatcoat. How do you say, isn't in his best form this morning, it seems? Hello. Hello, Mr. Sholmes? Good morning. Good morning to die, perhaps. Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? Okay, for some reason, Sholmes is reminding me of Nick's 4th edition D&D character right now. You look miserable. And the where you were playing the violin before. My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Damn this blanched existence. That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. I'm afraid I don't understand. Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dry toast and insipid coffee for me, if it's not too much trouble. Oh wow, I like the way his text is scrolling so slowly. Yep, Icky, cat. Oh, is this going to be the cat from the last defendant's apartment? Meow. Cat flap. Yep, it's him. Look at him. Look at him. He's blinking slowly. That means he wants to be friends. Yep, you're right, Icky. He has a teeny tiny bow tie as well. Oh, look. It's Wagger High. Good morning, boy. Meow. That must be some sort of tiny door for cats to use. But how did it get there? Fun fact, the cat flap was allegedly invented by Sir Isaac Newton. Well then, everyone, time for breakfast. Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris. It would indeed be a fine day to die. Yeah, I wake up feeling that way sometimes too, Sholmes, don't worry. I knew something looked different. Something's missing from Mr. Sholmes' desk. Oh, his analytical machine's disappeared. Well, let's have a gander. Icky, Sholmes has woken up all Klingon today. Yep, all those 2 guys from that one Mars bar advert. Look at Mr. Sholmes' desk. It's completely clear. Isn't that enormous machine usually on it? We can never hope to understand what goes on in the great detective's minds, Mr. Naruhodo. Why, next time we're invited, we may find he's vacated the entire suite. That's scarily plausible, actually. Nice light. There's all sorts on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, paper, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high I can't help feeling that the whole lot's going to topple at any moment. Now that's some good clutter. It's such a charmingly untidy collection of paraphernalia, isn't it? It just looks messy to me. Like my desk. But you, Mr. Naruhodo, must learn to tidy up after yourself. No favoritism there, then. The fire's burning comfortably in the grate again today. It's a very different feeling to Japanese hibachi somehow. Oh, look at that photograph print of the lady displayed on the mantelpiece. Could it be? Yes, it must be. It's the woman. Oh, how exciting. Is that supposed to mean something to me? Okay, I've unlocked an achievement for that. For examining the fireplace and seeing the photograph of the woman. These are all mementos of Mr. Sholmes' past cases, I think. If he'd been involved in my case, I wonder if the beef steak from Le Carnival would be on display here. A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, some mysterious dancing men, a bust of Napoleon. Oh, what an entrancing collection. It appears today I've completely lost the ability to speak out loud. It looks like an untidy assortment of junk to me, rather like what's on my own shelves. Well, you really ought to learn to keep your things in order, Mr. Naruhodo. No favoritism there at all. Loving this running gag. It looks like that huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. It seems very sturdy, with an equally sturdy lock. Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't go around opening things. I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous. Like a point-and-click protagonist. How did you come to that conclusion? Hi, Osiris. Wagga hi. Mr. Nasty May's cat seems to have settled into his new home then. Oh yes, and I've become very attached to little Waggy. It would appear his previous owner is completely forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their mews as empty as the hearts of the muses. If Mr. Natsume had no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan, I wonder why you kept him in the first place. I expect he would have taken him if he could. But pets are strictly forbidden aboard the steamships in our experience. And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed. I mean, to be fair, it did literally get their friend killed, so... Well, I don't mind, because Waggy is adorable. Yeah, he really is. Oh yeah, what about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did that come from? Oh, you noticed? You're observant, Rune. Look, I use this. It's my latest invention. What is that? I call it the cat flapper mat. Gosh, a machine for making the doors just for cats. That's right. Meow, that's right. You can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. And it can do it in any door at all, no matter what it's made of. It's very powerful, you see. Wouldn't it have been quicker just to make the cat flap rather than making a machine to make the cat flap? Well, yes, maybe. But now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like. Oh, I think it's wonderful. You must make one for us on the door and you must make one for us in the door of our office upstairs, Iris. She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. To be fair, this is the kid who built a smoke grenade launcher for no apparent reason, and then came to get it back from the urchin who stole it with a missile launcher, so... No, don't let that street rat kid steal it, or she might get ideas about testing how thick a door it can get through. Yeah. I wonder if Lestrade is small enough to squeeze through a cat flap. That's a charming little white shelf, and full of charming little bottles too. But the contents of them aren't quite so charming, it seems. Science is the fruit of Mr. Narihode. You can't deny it. I'm saving my money so I can buy some chemistry apparatus as well. Law, chemistry, takedown throws. What diverse skills you boast, Miss Susato. As useful as they are, I'm not sure that my throwing skills are worthy of inclusion in that list. Come to think of it, I haven't seen Iris do much writing recently, but there's paper already set up in the time writer. Look, as if she's about to start. That reminds me, when I mentioned that Iris was in the process of writing a full-fledged novel, Mr. Natsume was most impressed. Oh yes, Mr. Natsume. That's what I'd be doing too, once I'm back in Japan, he said through tightly clenched fists and teeth. Iris's beautiful tea set is there on the table as usual. A cup of one of her special herbal blends always helps me to relax when I'm feeling the strain. The English pastime of tea has many similarities with our own tea ceremony customs, don't you think? It's the idea of hospitality behind it. That's the essence of tea. Yep, I guess you could say that tea is steeped in culture. Okay, I think I've looked at everything. Oh, equations. V equals the sum of P something V. Yeah, I don't recognise that equation. Not that means much. This is where Iris notes down ideas, isn't it? Let's see, what does it say today? The Boscombe Valley Mystery. Oh, how intriguing. It must be the title of Iris's latest work. Oh my, I wonder what fantastic tale awaits us. Suzato-san looks like an angel, but I bet she's dreaming of the most unsavory crime you could imagine. Tax fraud? Present. Mr. Sholmes, could I ask your opinion about this? Ellipses nuts. You lure me to raise my languid head with the promise of some mental exaltation? Yet, in my morbid depression, I am confronted with the most mundane of problems. Oh. My mind finds greater stimulation in the unforgiving monotony of the floor than in your miserable offering. Always glad to help. Oh, my head weighs heavy on my shoulders. So dramatic. Okay, wanting to die. You seem to be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. Okay, that's going a bit far. What's happened? It used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus. Its mellifluent tones would make flowers bloom. It would. But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddesses of music have thrown me over. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? For hours I've bowed, for days even. Through the night I have endeavoured to no avail. That sound, my tone, is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone, gone forever. No more recitals of unbridled devotion. Well, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley? Don't worry, I'm sure it'll come back to you in time. Heed my words, Mr. Nerohodo. The goddesses of the arts are fickle. One day, they bestow genius upon a man. The next, they unmercifully withdraw it. Oh dear. Me when I have to spend the morning trying to sew a frickin' sleeve. Why is this happening to me? If they take the turn I have of the violin for me, what is left for pity's sake? What is left? Deduction perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for? Okay, the missing machine. Ah yes, from the lesser known version of Scooby-Doo. Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but your desk looks rather empty today. Oh, well done, Miss Duzzato. Your observational skills do you credit. Oh no, Mr. Sholmes, they pale in insignificance when compared to yours. You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you? You mean Hurley's greater analytoscope? That's at Windibank's now. Sorry, it's at a Windy Bank. No, Windibank's, the pawnbrokery. Pawn? What? You mean you've pawned that enormous machine of yours? It has some considerable value, see. Quite undeservingly. But isn't it a very important machine for your work? I do wish you'd consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. I should gladly have passed what little income I have to you. Dear madam, things are far from desperate. But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate? Making use of a pawnbroker is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. It is. It doesn't sound ordinary at all. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbroking works. What's to understand exactly? How pawnbroking works. What do you mean when you said we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works? To the people of London, pawnbrokeries are akin to banks. Banks? On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to their pawnbroker of choice. With the money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week. And then on Saturdays, they go to recover their things using the money they've earned. I had no idea. This has been a fascinating lesson for us. Icky? Always pawnbroking, never pawn fixing. Yeah, pawn fixing is when they're promoted to a queen. Because what is chess, if not the story of an army of eggs who make it to the other side of the board to transition? Everyone does it, you see, especially people in inner London. And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn, should the need arise. Oh, how ingenious. So whenever we have something that's getting in the way, We leave it at Windy Banks, you see. A pawnbrokery can be thought of as an extremely secure vault. Who would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain? Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Hurley? What does it matter? The world is dead to me now. So dramatic. Meow. Oh, what was that? Wahaki. That's not a good sound. What was that? Oh no. Wahagi's tangled up in your violin. I think he thinks it's a toy. No, what's he doing to it? Oh dear, Mr. Sholmes' precious violin. Why should I care? What? I shouldn't be surprised if the cat is a more accomplished musician than I now. Well, Mr. Sholmes, let me tell you about an adaptation of a musical called Cats. Mr. Sholmes is in really poor spirits, isn't he? Well, anyway, I'll put it back where it lives, shall I, Hurley? No, Liz, the 90s version was good. To be fair, yes, but that was literally just a recording of the stage show. As the cat's reach, if possible. Maybe we should assess the damage. Okay. So this is the violin, is it? It's a Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari. Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me. Yeah, apparently Stradivarius violins have some sort of special, sort of resonance to them. But I don't know how true that is. I mean, someone who knows about violins could probably correct me. I happened upon it, covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop, down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honourable of you. And until today, it has been my faithful companion in every great Paganini-inspired performance I have made. I ask you, is there a reason to live in a world devoid of music? To tolerate this blanched existence? No. There is none. So dramatic. Mr. Sholmes? What, dear madam? What? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from this dull routine. Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think? What do you mean, Miss Susato? Oh, Susie's right. Notice you don't know what Paganini is, but it sounds tasty. Wait, has the violin just been out of tune the entire time and he didn't realise? Yes, the tone in the wood is completely different. And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before. Wait, it's not even the right size, is it? What's this? Wait, someone's stolen his violin. I'm terribly sorry to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all. Then what? Wait, has the violin been mixed up with a... I believe It's an entirely different instrument called a viola. What? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you're right.
You're right. You're quite right. This isn't my faithful Stradivarius. So what, pray, is this piece of stringed float, Sam? Not your faithful performing partner, then.
Oh, I see what must have happened.
You do, Iris?
This is just a simple mix-up.
It sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what happened if we ask her.
No, Liz. This is not my beautiful wooden wife. This is not my sweet. This priceless violin has been my faithful companion for blah blah blah. Doesn't realise it's been swapped for a completely different kind of instrument. Well, obviously, he's clearly face blind, but for instruments, Iris, no, Liz.
What do you mean by mix-up, Iris?
Well, you see, this violin, sorry, this viola, I mean, was at Winterbank's until last week. At the pawnbroker's?
Not Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner. There is a proverb from the East with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel.
Yes, indeed.
You sent your beloved violin to the pawnbroker's in the hope it would experience personal growth?
I can't believe he drops his violin off at the violin daycare to level up. No, Liz.
I'm so good at playing the violin, I'm so good at blah blah blah. Wouldn't notice if you had swapped out his fancy keepsake for a plastic one.
Exactly. Oh, what a wonderful idea.
Last week, I pawned my great analyticoscope in order to release my precious instrument. But it would appear Mr. Winterbank mistakenly furnished me with this tawdry fiddle instead. But my ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber. No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact it just had strings. Tch, a fine state of affairs this is, and why I always say, Mr. Naruhodo, never trust a pawnbroker. They will try to fiddle you every time.
But earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbroker as an extremely secure vault.
Come, Mr. Naruhodo. Dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. Sorry. Crunching your toes with that vacant aspect. Pressing your coffee so obtusely. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency of which we are faced?
We must visit Mr. Winterbank's broker at once. Isn't that right, Mr. Sholmes?
Precisely, Miss Susato. Without a moment's delay.
But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs. They're eating a pretty big breakfast.
My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with an increasingly vacant aspect, to fresh your egg ever so more obtusely?
All right, say no more, let's go then. Don't worry, Bruno. I'll be happy to heat up for you again later.
Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I'm rather curious to see what British pawnbrokers looks like.
Exactly, Icky. Why would they go when bacon and eggs are right there? Like, I've been trying to cook a sandwich for myself every morning, and it's basically avocado, bacon and egg, and it's amazing. And I'm so happy I've actually got into the habit of doing it. Okay, to the pawnbrokers then. Okay, so... I do like that you can just go to anywhere from anywhere now. You don't have to like move to the next corridor along each time. I mean, okay, there was a couple of cases where it was kind of interesting in that it replicated movement, but it was just you know, needlessly complicated. Yeah, let's look around Baker Street just in case. Nothing really around here. Look at all the different things in the window of this shop. Oh, that's Winterbanks, the pawnbrokery. It looks much smarter than the pawnbrokers in Japan, doesn't it? Yes, you're right. I find pawn shops at home are rather inapproachable personally. It reminds me of tearfully parting with my favourite fountain pen. I felt so miserable. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, Mr. Naruhodo. It's already been 2 months since we started taking lodgings here above Mr. Sholmes' office. I still can't quite believe it. I never expected things would turn out like this. Oh, I know. To actually be sharing accommodation with the world's greatest detective. If I ever find myself before a court of law now, I will have not one regret. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'd be happy to defend you, of course. Okay, quick show of hands in the chat. If you're you're on trial in the Ace Attorney universe, what would you be charged with? Personally, I think I'd be charged with like, it would be, I mean, obviously it will be murder, but it'll be specifically murder of a professional crow trainer. By, you know, with his own crows. On a very warm day. So it wouldn't be murder in the first degree. Okay, nothing else around here, so to the pawnbroker we go.
"15th of April, Winterbanks Pawnbrokery."
Exactly, Nanny. Notice saying I took the scenic route on that one. Oh hey! It displays a message when people redeem stuff now. Finally. Glad I got that fixed. I should sort of go through my redeems and add some extra stuff for it. Here you'll get charged with poorly coding a vending machine, and someone died of dehydration, someone died of dehydration, murder in the first degree. Hey, Icky gets it. Also, sorry, my left finger sock has holes in it. I don't really want to make a new glove until I've got the new claws 3D printed. So this is a British pawnbrokery. Nice clocks, bro. Or more intelligently, nice clock, sis. And thank you for the quote, Icky. Oh my, there are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here I've never laid eyes on before. Oh, Sazatu-san, that spark of wonder in your eyes. You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? Notice, thank you for the quote, although I did say nice, not Nick. Not to say Nick isn't nice most of the time, but... yeah, one hell of a Freudian slip, no less. I get the impression you enjoy places like this. Oh yes, I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me.
My dear fellows, let us not forget why we're here.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes.
We're calling on matters of business, not pleasure.
Sholmes is going to fight the pawnbroker for his violin. And yeah, thank you again for the quote, Nellis. Now fixed. And clearly Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging from the spark of fury in his eyes.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, sir, welcome back. Did you hear that brazen welcome?
Well, yeah, we are potential customers after all.
We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruhodo. It's time to inform Mr. Winterbank of our ire. Come, the fight is afoot.
Okay, we'll intimidate him by pointing out that I'm a lawyer. Mr. Winterbank, about this.
Let me see. I'll give you tuppence for it.
No, I don't want to pawn it. Wait, no. Examine. Examine everything. We need to examine everything here.
Everything. What are you doing, my dear fellows? We're not here to browse for interesting curios. We've come to teach this broker a lesson.
Oh, but there are just so many fascinating items. Unless they will have to talk to Mr. Winterbank first before you can explore here, Miss Susato. Wow.
Naturally, you will recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago. Yes? This second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Winterbank. The colour of the wood is different. It has holes in it. It's not even the same size.
A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable of me. And an inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There is only one way to make amends.
Eh? Don't do it. Thank you for the content warning game. Yeah, this is going a bit far. Notice invoking quote Nintendo. Quote number 43. Nintendo. Wait, Capcom. Sorry, Nintendo. Force of habit. Oh wait, no, the inflection was more like Nintendo. No, wait, Capcom. Sorry, Nintendo. Force of habit.
Ellipses nuts. I don't think that will be necessary. Do you? If I may just say one thing before I pop off. Oh, yes?
Oh, does he know what pop-off means in the 13th Age First Edition rules?
It was you, Mr. Sholmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe. Sorry? As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin when I heard, here it is. You did. And when I turned to controvert you, you had taken the viola and left, sir. However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door for allowing you to leave. So I shall not grumble or grouse any longer. May this guilt die with me. No. Stop, my dear fellow. The fault is mine.
what is even happening anymore? Whew. It would appear that the fight is over.
I do humbly apologise, Mr. Winterbank. Evidently, my own questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy. Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Sherlock Holmes without that questionable disposition now, would you?
Nellis, you know where the Mad Hatter lives, just get in touch with him and give him the right violin.
I do believe you may be right, sir. It's either laugh or cry, I suppose. You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I needn't remind you of the peculiar collection of items you brought me through my door in the past.
Me to the teenager who I'm trying to ignore who smells of something I'm trying to ignore, in case the cops ask. Oh, peculiar items?
In the extreme, for example, the unpublished manuscript of an eponymous work, the novels of Sherlock Holmes or some such.
Oh my, a new full-fledged novel? And unpublished? A story I've yet to read, you mean?
Ah, forgive me.
Game of Thrones fans waiting for the next novel be like. Nerdist, isn't weed legal in the UK? Nope. It's still pretty much banned. I think there's small amounts that are allowed to be grown for medical research, and that's about it. I think there are some cases of doctors prescribing it, but I'm not sure about the specifics. The hell indeed, as he says. Wait, before you die, you must tell us more. Unpublished story. I must know more. Tell me everything.
Wow, this Sato-san is really fired up now.
Is there really an unpublished story? Under this very roof?
Well, one day the gentleman here brought in an old metal chest, you see. I should like to entrust this to your care for a while, Mr. Winterbank. For a chest like that. 1 shilling, sir. Not a farthing more. It houses something of great value indeed. The latest manuscript recounting the adventures of one Mr. Sherlock Holmes. I beg your pardon? A manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript? Indeed I do, for I am confident it will be quite safe here. And that was that. As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom.
Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this?
I'll continue to pay your fee. Sorry, I continue to pay your fee, do I not? Then kindly continue to store my belongings securely. Of course, sir. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you, on my life.
This is all very strange. Okay, can we look around now? I want to look at the things. Look at the things, look at the things, look at the things. We can't yet look at the things. Okay, pawnbrokery. I wonder, could I ask you something?
Ah, a gentleman from the east, I see. Yes, that sea will suit. I suppose I could offer you 6 for it. Without wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull.
Sorry?
Aha, but for your splendid attire, ma'am. 5 guineas, no less. The colours are exquisite, the design exotic. Eastern artistry at its finest, may I say.
Oh my, 5 guineas, do you say? How interesting. Why do I feel as though I suffered some sort of defeat here?
Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard it said the pawnbrokeries are used rather like banks here in London.
Notice? This guy's reminding you of that weird Star Wars comic that has the image of Jar Jar Binks' father in a similar pose. This guy's actually reminding me of, can't quite remember his name from the first game. Like Mia's, mentor. Oh, Grisberg.
Yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you describe. I appraise their items and offer them a proportionate loan of 2 months of secure storage. Sorry, a proportionate loan and 2 months of secure storage. If in that time they repay the original sum to me, plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned.
But what happens if they don't pay you the money?
Then the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me.
So you never sell items before the 2 months has passed then?
That's right, madam, that's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer's precious belonging be lost, the only recompense is for me to end it all.
That seems a bit disproportionate.
The very idea, Mr. Winterbank, is an absurdity. One should never talk of one's demise so casually.
Yes, thank you. Wait. What were you saying earlier, Sholmes? Oh, chat disconnected for me a second there.
Says the man who was telling us all it was a good day to die only this morning.
I'm not gonna lie, this is all making me uncomfortable, but hopefully they'll stop it in a sec.
And let us not forget that I've already helped you take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs. What sorts of measures? I engineered a simple device which Mr. Winterbank has installed here in his shop. I call it the Red-Handed Recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Winterbank?
Oh yeah, I think Iris earlier said that was how she found her grenade launcher. Her anachronistic grenade launcher. What was that deep sigh about? Red-handed recorder.
What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are 2 just below the ceiling.
Notice, Sholmes bugged this guy's shop. They even have laws about that yet. To be fair, I'd imagine they fall under laws about trespassing. I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device.
Very astute. It is indeed a camera furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film. And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop.
Okay, this is going to be important later, isn't it?
Here, I have an example I can show you. Oh yes, a print from the camera set to record the activity at the shop counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive, it produces a crystal clear image even in darkness.
Really? That's extraordinary. Yes, you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it, look. To be fair, that is pretty cool. Oh, I see a poll. Which game series should they make next? Gay attorney, lesbian attorney, trans attorney, intersex attorney, or cursed attorney? Okay, now who's behind this poll? On the one hand, this feels like a bean joke. On the other, that last option feels very Nick. No, this is a possibility, of course. As this, channel's resident pollster.
So you see, were someone to enter the premises with intent, his identity would be summarily exposed.
Oh good, I'll be safe. But did you not say that the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals? He pleads the 5th. Notice one of its resident pollsters. Exactly.
Indeed, as you say, my dear madam.
True, B's more known for them, but I haven't seen any indication he's about. Then what if the incident were to occur between times?
One could say that would be a cruel twist of fate. I must confess, your devices have been giving me some cause for distress of late. I beg your pardon, Mr. Winterbank. Surely they are anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word. It's the cost of the film, sir. You must graciously place not one but 2 cameras in my shop after all, which means I must pay for 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older. Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbrokery, no? My dear fellows, we verge on an age where safety and security come at a price. Oh, heaven help us.
I can't believe Sherlock Holmes has invented cyberpunk in the Victorian era. Steampunk cyberpunk, if you will.
Now then, Mr. Sholmes, allow me to return your precious violin. Ah, the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Winterbank. Perhaps this might mark the end of the peculiar items you tried to pop, Because if anything was to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer.
I really think you ought to stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt.
Fear not.
Sorry. Okay, so the winner is neck and neck, cursed attorney, or trans attorney.
I've only loaded a single bullet, so that no one but myself could possibly be harmed.
That's not really what I meant.
Good day to you then, Mr. Winterbank. It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Sholmes.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, now we can explore at last. Look at this. What could this lovely big shiny box be?
That, my dear madame, is a music box. Surely you have such things in your own country.
Am I? Yes, but I've never seen one so large before.
Shall we listen a while?
Is the background music changing? Yep. What's the sublime sound? It's like the music of angels. I've never heard anything like it before in my life.
This particular specimen is of a large variety, commonly found in public houses and restaurants. There is a metal disc inside on which the notes to be played are recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played.
My goodness, what a simply delightful machine.
Indeed, though their popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course.
Science and technology advance at such an overwhelming pace. Look at that enormous ledger open on the counter there.
Mr. Winterbank is, if nothing else, very particular about recording the items he accepts.
He'd have to be, otherwise he'd get himself into all sorts of trouble. Which might explain the thing that catches my eye far more than the ledger. This revolver here.
Do not entertain even a single thought of pilfering an article herein, my dear fellow. I assure you, Mr. Winterbank would not hesitate to draw that weapon with the speed belying his portly size.
Oh, you don't mean he'd...
Blow his brains out, indeed. In recompense for his blunder.
I don't really care much for this running gag. Just saying. Oh my. But in any case, of course we'd never do such a thing. How could you even suggest it? But what if we stole the revolver? What then? I mean, I think it would be for his own good. There seems to be a little door hidden behind that curtain there. That leads to the storage room, where Mr. Winterbank keeps articles that are currently in pawn. Oh, I see. There's nothing particularly interesting inside. I certainly wouldn't recommend any loss in this activity. Recommended or not, it's not something I tend to do. There is but one key, and Mr. Winterbank keeps it in his pocket at all times. Before he sleeps, he places it in a small pot, which he slides under his pillow.
But how on earth did you know about that, Mr. Sholmes?
I'm a detective, sir. It is my business to know what others do not. I'm frequently assailed by information that I neither care for, nor wish to retain. Mr. Sholmes, you're a wonder. And the prime suspect of this pawnbroker is ever burgled. What an assortment of things there are on these shelves here. Crockery, footwear, clocks, and watches. Almost anything you care to imagine. Those are forfeited items, offered for sale by the pawnbroker. What does that really mean, though? When you pawn or colloquially pop an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in his shop for sale, a price of his choosing. Oh yes, now I've explained it. I'm noticing little price tags on everything. It's all about the price tag. Of course, simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping. So you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow. My treasured university uniform? Never. It embodies my student spirit. Now, what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does? It seems to have two little windows for looking through. Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you're looking at is a stereoscope. A stereo... Fascinating. It is aptly named, I assure you. Look through the eyepieces and see for yourself. Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment while I just have a look. Just before you do, there is something I should point out. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, stereoscopically, as it were, you'll need to be cross-eyed. Oh yeah, my favourite cartoon character. Cross-eyed the detective man. However, if that is beyond you, it is of little consequence today. Alright then, I'm going to try it. Mr. Naruhodo, you must see. At once. Oh, right then. So I need to be cross-eyed, like I'm trying to look at my own nose. Oh, wow, I forgot my nose was purple. Not gonna lie, it's actually kind of fun to just look down and realise I'm purple right now. Feels good. Like I've been isekai'd. What the? I don't believe it. It's just a photographic print, but it seems like you could reach out and touch it. Yes, the sense of depth is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many fads. They're often found in little stalls in the park. People queue for hours to see them. Wait, this came out on the 3DS originally, didn't it? Okay, this explains why everyone's so excited. Why? Why are people meddling with such black magic? Oh, thank you for the follow, Juma. Also, hey everyone, check out my new, did the new follow GIF work? Because I think I set something up for it, but I can't remember what. I think it was just like a little animation of me winking. Oh, welcome to the chat, Jayuma. Nullis shut up for a second. Oh, that's good. I think it by default it's like 10 seconds long, but I changed it to a second because that was all it would loop for. You didn't notice if it had any text though. I think it should have. I mean, I should probably find a longer animation for it, but you know. I mean, if we get raided, I've got a really good animation. But that remains to be seen.
It is no magic, my dear madame. It is, well, far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day.
Give us the exposition, you cowards. 3 glows of gold. Is that some sort of charm?
Dear me, have you not seen that sign before?
No, never.
The 3 golden balls are, in Great Britain at least, the universal sign of a pawnbrokery. There are more than 700 such establishments in the capital, all sharing the same sign.
Oh, I see.
I had not imagined your ignorance was so profound.
Well, what is the significance of the 3 golden balls then? Does it have a special meaning?
That is entirely unimportant here, madame. Irrelevant, even.
You mean you don't know? April the 30th. Oh, sorry, April the 15th. That's not a calendar you could easily miss, is it? 15th of April. Today's date.
Yes, that's not for sale, I must point out. It's an Eastern-style page-a-day calendar. Very nice at midnight to tear off the front page to reveal the following day's date.
Wait, so where's he getting the paper for it from?
The perfect calendar for a tearaway fellow such as yourself, Mr. Winterbank.
And who is it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before? Technically it was the wrong viola.
Well, when the agreed storage period is passed without repayment, articles are forfeited, you see. So I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say.
Ah yes, I can see you're very dedicated to your job. Okay, we looked around at everything yet. Cool. Okay, apparently I need to spend a little more time investigating around here. What else is there? Lots of shoes for some reason. Oh, there's a thing. Look at this. Whatever could it be used for? I have no idea. There's a small catch just here, look. We're going to open it, aren't we? Oh my, that's amazing.
It has some sort of spring-loaded mechanism, which we'd never managed to put back to the way it was before. What are you two doing? What, nurse? Nothing. No, nothing at all. Whatever this device is, it seems to have a pair of little windows to look through. I feel as though I've seen something rather similar to this elsewhere. What? Only a tuppence for it? Wait, what? Only a tuppence for it? Ain't fair, you know it. The article's only barely worth a penny, miss. I can't offer more. Okay, is this everyone's favourite rogue? Sounds like there's an argument brewing over by the counter. Come on, that can't be right. Have you even had a butcher's at it? I've seen all I need to see, young girl. Yep, it's her again. Wait, don't we know? I'm sure I recognise her. Oh yes, it's the young lady from Mr. McGilded's trial 2 months ago. No less, with the JoJo hat and the poster match. Yep, and apparently she's gained a cool greatcoat. Her name is Jenny Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket. I wonder if I could roll an artificer rogue and actually I wonder if I could wonder how easy it would be to roll a like an arcane trickster rogue and flavour them as a like an artificer rogue, you know. Just because the idea of a rogue with a grenade launcher tickles me. Gun Bennett, you lot. Oh, hey Cecily, how's it going? Meow indeed. Okay, she's still got the grenade launcher. Can we get a shout out for Cecily? How's it going? I look amazing. Oh, thank you. Hang on, I'll switch to the big view for a sec. Really happy with how my tiefling look's been coming along, especially since I added the wig. I'm sort of fulfilling my New Year's resolution and making a jacket at the moment, but I'm gonna do some ears next. You're very curious to see what the horns feel like to touch. Oh wow, not to ruin the illusion, but they're made of latex, so kind of springy. How's Cyberpunk 2077 going? I think I saw a stream alert the other day, but I was at work at the time. Yep, and I also I made some improved horns, which I was happy with, but they were more effort than they were worth, and also they were a bit big for my forehead. So I'm going to use the same sort of process to make sort of Karlak horns, which are, you know, much more substantial than these ones. But I think I kind of prefer the, you know, just the cartoony look for this particular tiefling cosplay. Although to be fair, I think the jackets I'm working on will look quite nice with this outfit. It's a navy cropped faux suede one, and it's also my first time baglining a jacket. Hello, Mr. Strad. Hope you've been well. Yeah, what? You remember that? You remember me then, do you? Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure. So, what are you doing here? Down night like the rest of us? Nothing to eat? Came to pop that black weasel, sorry, coat, have you? What is it about this black uniform that makes everyone comment on it? Ah, good day, unless I'm very much mistaken. You would be that young pickpocket who stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher.
Okay. I kind of thought Iris had forced her to give it back, but I guess she still got it. You know, I've actually made a similar sort of hat to this one. I wonder if I could kind of make something similar, because it does look kind of cool. Oh yeah, I think it was Nick who pointed it out, but Lestrade is the name of the detective who's friends with Sherlock Holmes in the original novels. So I wonder what's going on here. Like, I know he had like the Cable Street particular. It's like regulars who are just a bunch of kids he'd pay for information. So I wonder if they sort of merged the characters. Cecily, they both have cool hats, to be fair. Yeah, that's true. Like, loving the steampunk goggles Sholmes has had this entire time. Hey, Mr. Sholmes? So, you have something of value to pawn, do you? Allow me to see the article, and I shall negotiate with Mr. Winterbank on your behalf. Pull the other one. I don't need some help from some stuck-up D. Get out of my business. Go on, I'll make trouble for you. Me when cis girls give me tips. Sorry, me when cis girls give me makeup tips. Only joking. I'll take all the advice I can get. As you wish, Miss Lestrade. I'll happily remove myself from your presence. He's really done it. He's gone. Cecily Sholmes is a great name. Yeah, like Sherlock Holmes. Fun fact, actually. So the Lupin novels, which are sort of a contemporary of the Sherlock Holmes novels about a master thief, it's actually what inspired the classic anime Lupin the Third, who's basically Lupin's descendant. But yeah, the Lupin novels starring Arsène Lupin had a parody of Sherlock Holmes called Sherlock Sholmes. And basically a court ruled that Sherlock Sholmes was a reasonable way to parody Sherlock Holmes without breaking copyright. So that's been legal precedent all the way up until Sherlock Holmes entered the public domain. Which I think was actually something that became pretty well known around when this game was first released. Yeah, it's pretty cool, Cecily. I'm sorry, but as I said, there really is no room for a negotiation here. What's that thing he has in his hand? Some kind of metal disc. And you, go on, leave me alone. Oh, Miss Lestrade. Just pretend we aren't here. We shan't be offended in the slightest. Cecily, you didn't know that about Lupin the Third? You should watch that one day. Yeah, I've not really seen as much of it I'd like, but it's kind of one of those anime I sort of keep meaning to watch and will probably enjoy. Like, literally, my favourite Discworld novels are the Moist von Lipwig ones, and that's saying something considering they're the more recent ones. Well, were the more recent ones, so yeah. Who doesn't love a good crime? Suzato-san really can stand her ground when she wants to. Whatever. I suppose I could really use the voice I use for my D&D character Tassel, since she's supposed to be a crook. Okay, pawnbroker's customer. Somehow, I didn't really think you were the sort of person who'd use a pawnbroker, Miss Lestrade. Yeah, well I am, alright. I'm a Londoner, just like everyone else. That a problem, is it? No, not at all. It's just that, well... Oh, I get it. I know what you're thinking. That thing probably didn't even belong to her. Probably got on the dive, didn't she? Yeah, I can see it written all over your Chevy Chase. Well, I might have been thinking something along those lines. You're not going to deny it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Alright then, I'm just going to come out and ask you straight.
Well, ask me gay instead.
Do you pawn things that you steal from other people?
Well, I don't know how to best answer that, really, yeah. Suppose sometimes. You're not going to deny either, Mr. Strahd. But not this time, alright? I swear. That thing belongs to me.
The disc that Mr. Winterbank is holding. Perhaps we should see what he has to say about all this.
Okay, we're talking to Winterbank. Wait, is that a skull?
Look at Mr. Winterbank watching diligently over his shop. There's still so many things I'm curious about.
I don't believe this is time for browsing, Mr. Naruhodo.
We should probably see whether the argument's been resolved yet, I suppose.
Okay, Mr. Strahd's disc. Mr. Winterbank, what exactly is this metal disc that Mr. Strahd has brought in? It seems to have hundreds of tiny bumps on its surface. Oh wait, is it one of the music discs for the music box?
This is a music disc, you see, for use inside a music box.
In a music box? What, you don't even know what a music box is? You must have not ain't too savvy, eh?
I know what a music box is. I just never seen one of those discs before. The small protrusions on the metal disc encode the tune to be played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going, and peaceful music plays.
It's so incredible. Tell us, what tune's on this disc?
Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. There are so many different types of music box, you see. British made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for.
I see.
And that's it. And that's it in a nutshell.
Sorry, I'm having to switch between too many voices here.
I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really, I'm not offering more than I should at a penny.
That's a packet of lies. You told me you did. You said it was, well...
He? Who?
Never you mind. It just ain't right, that's all. That disc's worth good money. I know it is.
Well then, you'll have to try your luck at another pawnbroker's, won't you?
Okay, Gina Lestrade.
She's been in before, of course. This little taxidermilium.
Taxidermilium? Okay, I'm going to have to record that word for later. Taxidermilion. Taxidermilion?
I see. And brought back some dubious article or other with her every single time, I might add.
Dubious? What are you trying to say? I'm an honest customer, me. Taxidermilion. What's it even mean? Like, toe rag urchin?
So, is there something dubious about the discs you brought in today? Well, if only it were that simple.
Sorry, what do you mean?
What she actually brought in was a storage ticket.
A storage ticket? So... Mr. Strahd has actually come to redeem an article from you today, is that right? Yeah, that's right. A guy like me has a lot of stuff what needs storing.
Right, yes, that's definitely dubious.
Notice, person with tattered clothing, pauper, ragamuffin. Okay, that's not particularly fair. I mean, her outfit's pretty stylish. If a bit haphazard. Ow. Sorry for hitting the mic there.
The article in question would have been forfeited at midnight tonight, but as she gave me the ticket for it, I repaid both the loan and the interest. I was obliged to return the article to her.
No less tassel demon. I mean, yes, but... But what was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Winterbank.
The little scamp is wearing it, ma'am.
Okay, it's that cool cloak.
Yes, the overcoat that she redeemed. What's wrong with that? It fits, don't it? I mean, it's mine, so of course it does. So, what about the disc then? How's that come into all this? Oh, was it in the pocket? The disc is something else, and your article's porn. If the girl and I can agree on a price.
Hey, Max Sting. Cinderella bits for overcoats. I mean, yes. Oh, to be a rogue with a cool hat and a cool coat. How you doing anyway, Max Sting? I'm confused. I thought you said that Miss Lestrade brought us in a storage ticket today.
It's really quite simple. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket and the money owed on it, as you say.
For this heavy black coat, which you returned to her care, as I understood it.
That's right, yes. And rather unsurprisingly, as soon as that little ragamuffin put the thing on, she went rifling through the pockets.
Oh, you mean... You what? Didn't you know it's rude to stare at a lady? Oh, I see. So it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it? Called it.
If you mean this disc, then yes, exactly, ma'am.
And she immediately tried to pawn it. For quite a high price as well. This is all rather suspicious, I think. Max Sting, in fairness, if your coat was in someone else's possession for weeks, you'd also go through the pocket. That's a fair point. Give it up. I'm just trying to pawn something like anyone else would. Mr. Strad, if I may ask you who deposited the overcoat here in the first place? Well, me. It doesn't really appear to be your size. Me old man. It's me old man's, ain't it? Is it, Mr. Strad? Yeah, this is definitely all rather suspicious. Okay, I don't know what voice to give this individual, but out of my way, please. Oh, out of my way, please. Who's this picture postcard English gentleman? Okay, this is definitely a bad guy, isn't it? Max Sting, but you'd be unlikely to pawn random objects you found there. If you found something like that, you just might. Regardless, you think everyone's giving Miss Lestrade way too much shoot for someone who's trying to get by. Yeah, to be fair, everyone is being kind of a dick to her. Then again, she is packing a grenade launcher that no one's telling her off about, so maybe she's getting more leeway than we think. Yeah, this guy looks way too anime villain not to be a villain. Just saying.
Good day to you, ladies, gentlemen.
What's your problem, eh? Max Sting, a lady's got to protect herself on the streets of London. It's true.
There is no problem, as long as you remove yourself. I have a matter to discuss with the proprietor.
And if you intend to make a problem of it, I shall see you outside, little girl, for the hiding you deserve. Look, ain't it obvious? I ain't done talking with him yet. If you think you're such a gent, you should know how to wait in line. Fight, 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 fight. Max Sting, you assume it's London, you weren't keeping track. It could be Southampton for all you know. Yeah, this is London. I mean, fantasy Victorian Edwardian London, but London nonetheless. To be fair, it is a smoke grenade launcher, not an actual grenade launcher. But you know, that's pretty deadly for a rogue. She'll have her sneak attack every round. No, let's hit him with the smoke grenade, give him the armor third special.
Well, you are an impudent little brat, aren't you? As well as a pickpocket.
Hey? Who are you? How do you know who I am?
The question is, how do you not know who I am? You haven't the courtesy to even remember the faces of your victims, it seems.
What? You mean from you?
Broker. Yes, sir. I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no? Yes. The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once.
Am I? No, that's a lie. What are you trying to pull?
Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel. And needless to say, any music box discs too.
No, you can't have it. You just can't. It's my old man's. Or it was. Now it's mine. Goodness, Mr. Narihede. This is a very awkward situation.
Yes. I think perhaps we should hear both sides of the story in a little more detail.
Okay, the gentleman's accusation. Mr. Strad, is what the gentleman is saying. What do you think? It's all lies, ain't it? Obviously. I swear in my life, ain't ever laid eyes on that dandy before.
Let's hear it now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? That ticket you brought in here just now.
No, I swear it. I swear to God.
It was barely an hour ago. I was walking along the street, minding my own business, and everyone that you meet has an original point of view. And I say, what a wonderful...
Sorry. Max Sting, you wonder how a primitive grenade launcher could possibly get. You once had a Vampire the Masquerade character who made his own smoke bomb specifically so he could plausibly vanish, even on camera, using his vampire superpowers without anyone questioning it. To be fair, a grenade launcher is literally just like any device that can launch a grenade. So you could probably just use like a very primitive catapult to launch a grenade.
When this little gusling ran into me, I knew at once what happened. I've been robbed yet again, I thought to myself. Those wretched pickpockets.
Yet again?
Oh yes, as you can see, I'm a man of impeccable style. This isn't the first time I've been targeted by these backslum scoundrels.
Max Sting, you're thinking about how grenades worked back then, and those were kind of dubious. So the launcher might also need to be able to cope with that. True. Like one of the principles of modern grenade launcher is obviously that it has a safety mechanism of some sort, and like most grenades tend to only well, basically the fuse is designed so they take a couple of seconds of travel time before they're actually active, so you don't blow yourself up. Yeah, let's not talk about the operating principles of grenade launcher in chat. I don't want to end up on any more watch lists than I already am.
Now then, relinquish my overcoat. Come along now, Mr. Strad. Give the good gentleman his coat back. If you're going to cause trouble, I shall have no choice but to call the police.
But wait. The overcoat doesn't match his colour scheme at all. It can't be his. Max Sting, regarding Clive's smoke bombs, one of the few times he used it, he was trying to force someone to talk to him, and she was trying to avoid him by getting into a taxi. So he threw a smoke bomb in there, and the cabbie got angry as hell and drove off. Literally no one knew had him, but it was on his character sheet. Okay, that is pretty cool. Hold on, why does everyone think it's me? Just look at this Danny Cove, and you think I'm the dodgy one? She is right, he does look like an anime villain. And like, his hat band doesn't even have a proper texture.
I'm sorry, but no one's going to believe you.
Well, what about evidence? Yeah. Where's your evidence that I stolen something, eh? Come on, let's see it.
Oh, I have evidence, naturally.
You what? Max Sting, it sounds stalkery and that you tell me that Clive was not the good guy in that game, but he was also very airy, so it wasn't sketchy. Ah, fair enough then. I just figured it was like someone who was an antagonist. Okay, let's hear this evidence. Evidence that the article Mr. Lestrade redeemed actually belongs to this gentleman. Of course, we need only consult Mr. Winterbank's ledger to know the truth. We'd be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place. Yes, brilliant.
I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible. I never ask customers' names. That's a strict policy of mine.
But why not?
Well now, as you can imagine, some of my customers have circumstances to consider. A great many of them prefer to maintain their anonymity.
Yes, I see. But then, how can you know if an article belongs to the person asking you to redeem it?
That's quite simple. Good sir, might I trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question?
And they list this guy as an actual fence.
Of course it's... Professor. Yes, that's right, and all the evidence we need. This gentleman is the rightful owner of the article, without doubt.
A watchword? Interesting. I like how we're just getting a tutorial on how Victorian pawnbrokers work. Gee, I wonder if this will come up in the next case. So, about these watchwords, Mr. Winterbank.
As I just explained, I never ask customers' names when they deposit items with me. There are many reasons why. Certainly customers would like to keep their activities secret.
Oh, Herlock Sholmes is back. That wasn't exactly a subtle glance at Mr. Sholmes now, was it? Great detectives have no dark secrets. None at all. Except for when they, get the wrong viola.
Yes, well, anyway, that's why I always ask for a watchword whenever I accept a new article. In many ways, it's like the secret combination of numbers used to unlock a vault. The date of deposit, a description of, and a watchword uniquely to identify each item. And of course, then I give the storage ticket to the customer. When someone comes to redeem something, I ask for the ticket and the watchword.
And if that someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article?
That's right, sir, yes. Just as soon as the requisite fee is paid.
And I have supplied you with the information that you require already. But for the avoidance of doubt, the article in question is an overcoat, deposited 2 months ago on the 15th of February. With a watchword of Professor.
All perfectly correct information, sir.
But, ow! Really, this is beyond a joke now. There is no further room for doubt. Okay, but Lestrade seems generally confused. So, something's going on here. Wait. Okay, Sholmes has disappeared again. Picture postcard gentleman. Excuse me, but who are you? One would expect the inquirer to introduce himself first. Though clearly you're not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign to you. Oh, sorry, yes. We're from the Empire of Japan. We're studying here. Oh yes, Japan. I've heard talk of the place. I will explain what I know through the power of interpreted dance. Apparently. Notice, to be honest, if the coat was Lestrade's dad's, it must have been a hand-me-down. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much how a coat belonging to a parent is, if it's yours. But it's no questioning that it's completely the wrong colour scheme for him. I mean, that hat in the background could be his. You mean from when her dad was a kid? Cecily, this dude really likes his special poses. Yeah. To be fair, he's the perfect match for Lestrade because they both act like JoJo characters. His inhabitants live on some fiery brown coloured soup, dressed up with exotic spices. You might be thinking of somewhere else. And what was that theatrical gesticulation about? Ah, yep, everyone loves some gesticulation. Yeah, to be fair, the poet guy was kind of, like... He had that sort of dramatic air about him anyway. Perhaps. Anyway, if you're a gentleman, sir, you're off your own name first before inquiring after the name of another. Of course, yes. I'm Ryanosuke Naruhodo. I'm a lawyer. Well, a student of law, really. My name is Susato Mikotoba. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's assistant. I see. Yep, and Sholmes. Although Sholmes is more of a shadow boxer. My name is Benedict. Yes, Egbert Benedict. Delicious. Maybe I should try making eggs Benedict for breakfast sometime. Enchante. Max Ding, you suppose that makes sense since Holmes was a kind of coked up badass. I believe, didn't he have a, in the books, didn't he have a heroin addiction? Although that was more of a sort of thing where he got really bored between cases. Nerlis, Egbert, not even Egbert, an actual name. Max Ding, Holmes had whatever addiction was necessary, you think? Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I mean, to be in at least one story, he explicitly said he wouldn't take up opium. So there's that. Sort of like how Watson's war wound kept moving around. Oh yeah, that was a thing, wasn't it? I mean, continuity wasn't exactly solid. Apparently Sherlock Holmes, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's estate actually used that sometime. They tried to argue the later stories weren't in public domain, so details from them could be used to sue someone. Cecily, you love eggs Benedict. That's fair enough, it's pretty tasty. Like, for breakfast recently I've been making myself avocado, bacon and egg sandwiches. But maybe I'll try making pancakes or something. I mean, so are you all about American cuisine. There's something to be said about having dessert for breakfast. He is so refined in how he holds himself and how he speaks, but that name is suspicious. Okay, it looks like Ryanosuke agrees with you, Nerlis. Yeah, it's pretty tasty, Cecily. To be fair, I do love avocado. Which is, of course, why I'll never afford a house, but there we go. Now to the matter at hand. My overcoat, return it at once, or I shall defeat you in a dance-off. Just someone with the style to carry it off. Every move he makes, every breath he takes, I can't stop watching him. Ayy. Musical reference. Yeah, I'm siding with Gina here, but not for any rational reason. I mean, she's probably right, because she seems genuinely shocked he actually had the ability to Now, to be fair, Max Sting, that song won't be written for like 200 years, so it's entirely fair. And yeah, Junior is definitely friend-shaped. I mean, not that I need much prompting to sort of side with the cheerful rogue, well, the cheerful blonde rogue, but notice you don't know what Eggs Benedict even is. You don't know what any kind of egg is, to be honest. You just put it in the pan and wait for it to be hard enough to eat with a fork, then put it on the plate. Basically, you make a hole in bread, put an egg in it, and fry that. Max Sting, heck, cheerful or not, you just side with your fellow prole by default. Also that. Okay, that just sort of kind of makes sense.
So let that be an end to the matter. And thank you for your custom, Mr. Egbert Benedict, sir. Sorry, Egbert Benedict. With such reasonable rates of interest, I may even decide to come back.
Notice what you do with the bread you took out. Throw it out? I don't know. I think some people just slice up the bread and make the whole but keep the same amount of bread present, if that makes sense. I mean, it's been like years since I actually tried making it, so I don't know. This is why I ate grown-ups. Just because I'm a diver, everyone thinks that makes me a liver. Sorry, makes me a liver. Liar. Why do I keep saying liver?
And the contents of the coat pockets, if you please, broker. Well, of course, sir. Here's the disc for you. Just this one. Pardon, sir. I was expecting another. That is, I deposited another.
Another disc?
Oh dear. I regret to inform you, sir, that what was deposited with me was merely the overcoat.
No less. Something holy liver. Ah, yep, spent too long in the midnight sea.
The disc happened to be in one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now.
So guzzling.
You're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you?
Says you, eh? I didn't know nothing about it.
Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style.
Max Sting, use it to mop up the sauce and such the way you would with soup when you're done. Or just put it on top like a little hat. Oh yeah, like, what's the name for it when you have a little bit of bread to mop up the rest of a steak or something? Like a something shoe? Wait a minute, that disc is mine.
Ugh. What do you think you're doing, you little tramp?
Just to be clear, in this country that means it means bum. Or homeless person. Max Sting, you don't know what that's called, but yeah. Yeah, she is great. Like, she was in the third case. And she was great then as well.
You've drawn blood, you filthy animal.
Oh my god, he is an anime villain. He's furious now, he's got a little cuss on his face or something. No less. Call me Becca Snipe, will you? Pings him to death with instants and sorceries. Oh my, yes. There's blood on the disc.
It's because of all those sharp little bums.
The man must have scratched his finger on them. I found it first, alright. I mean, it belonged to me, old man. So you're not having it? Or you take it.
Me?
If I hang on to it, they'll have me off me again. So you keep hold of it.
Mr. Stradi. Why is this stick so important to her?
The music box disc has been entered into the court record. A metal disc used to play music on a mechanical musical box. The piece of music, which remains unidentified, is stored on the disc by means of small protrusions.
You there, in the black livery. Hand that disc to me at once, please.
No, you don't. He's lying. Grown-ups are all liars.
What do I do now? How am I going to resolve this?
Into the court record we go.
Look at all the little bumps on the disc. They're so tiny.
Yep, the protrusions are called pins, and they pluck the teeth of the combs to make the notes. And just on the edge, there's a small amount of blood.
Yeah, the blood of the mysterious Mr. Egbert Benedict.
When Mr. Stroud tried to grab the disc from him, the pin scratched his fingers, it seems. Max Sting now issued use the smoke bomb. Yeah. If only it was socially acceptable just to smoke bomb your way out of awkward conversations. Like when you're grating some daikon radish and actually accidentally catch your finger.
Ouch. Just thinking about it hurts. And puts me off eating radish.
Anything on the... Oh, what's this? Oh, there's a little scrap of paper stuck on the reverse side of the disc, look. And a scribbled word or two. It looks like somebody's name. From McGilded.
McGilded? It couldn't be.
But it is, Mr. Naruhodo.
A name I shall never forget.
Wait, a name I shall never forget for as long as I live. Max Sting, if your radish is red.
But why is his name on this?
The music box disc information has been updated in the court record. Okay, how's that for a plot twist? McGilded was the defendant in the first trial, and he basically died literally at the end of it. Exactly, Nellis. The return of McDimmerduck.
How am I going to resolve this?
By leaving. Ellipses are nuts.
Wow, Mr. Stroud is really looking daggers at that mysterious gentleman. We need to do something to calm things down before she loses control and attacks him again. Look at those piercing eyes. He's clearly in no mood to talk. We have to do something quickly before this mysterious gentleman leaves to fetch the police or something. Mr. Winterbank is clearly at a loss here. We have to do something about this before he reaches for that revolver of his. Look at Mr. Winterbank watching diligently over his shop. There are still so many things I'm curious about. Somehow I don't really feel like this is the right time to be browsing.
Calming this fraught situation must be our top first priority.
And I'm fairly certain we can find just the great thing we need among the articles here in this shop.
Okay, what do we need? Oh wait, there's a camera, isn't there? No, we can't access the camera. Oh god, he's back. Okay, great detective, sort this out. Mr. Sholmes? What are you examining with such keen interest there? As you enjoy a bar of caramel, I see. Exactly, Nellis. Sholmes jump scare.
So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruhodo.
Sorry?
After that young pickpocket sent me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows, cruelly ostracized, as the rest of you partook in the jovial atmosphere of the fellowship. I had nothing to occupy my mind, but I was too ashamed to let society see what my downfall had done to me. So feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets in this desolate place. Whilst, as you shrewdly observed, gnawing on the only friend I have left, this 7% solution of caramel. I can't believe they did that. For those not familiar with Sherlock Holmes' lore, his addiction of choice was a 7% solution of heroin. Pray, do you claim to understand the depths of my despair, Mr. Naruhodo? But how could you? I was so lonely, so desperately lonely.
Nerlis, ignore Sholmes and plays the tea in the Hobbit's to Isengard in your head.
Then why on earth didn't you rejoin the conversation? Things have gone from bad to worse here, you know. Yes, I overheard much of your conversation. Or rather, in my craving for human contact, my ears devoured every word that was uttered.
You really were sad, weren't you? Me when I haven't been explicitly invited into a conversation. Max Dane, you wish more people who wear goggles actually use them in these stories. Yeah, to be fair, when he was first introduced, he was using them. They have some sort of, like, science thing going on. Poor Mr. Sholmes, it feels simply awful for you.
It would seem, as in my inference, if my inferences are correct.
Oh, surely you're not about to tell us that you've solved the entire case once again?
My dear madame, sometimes I wonder, were my genius for deduction to be commoditized? How much could I pawn it for?
Exactly, Nellis. They have a detective vision filter.
It seems Mr. Sholmes has had another of his flashes of inspiration.
But who knows if it will help to resolve the situation between Miss Lestrade and the mysterious gentleman. What's the right thing to do here? Okay, listen to the deduction, I think. I mean, what else is going to happen? Max Dane, you mean yeah, but you want to see them put on the goggles to do science things. Or to ride a motorcycle or fly an airplane. Or, you know, be like Rasputin and use them to dive into someone's brain. Because that is the purpose of the goggles.
Well, Miss Lestrade, it would appear you find yourself in something of a predicament.
Where in the blue blazes you been, eh?
Pardon?
When a lady's in trouble, a Trudian's supposed to be there to help. Straight away. Not an hour later. Max Dane, that rocks, so that's a very fine example. Double fine, even. Eee. I really should get around to playing Psychonauts 2. Like, I was very excited for when it came out, but I never got around to actually playing it.
Harsh.
And who, pray tell, are you?
Mr. Eggert Benedict, you have, in my eyes, a veritably encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. Nevertheless, there are two immovable conclusions I have drawn. I beg your pardon. The first is this. The true reason for your visit to this pawnbrokery today is something you have not yet revealed. And the second is this. A considerable crime is in contemplation, one you will orchestrate with intent to steal a vast sum of money. Well, Mr. Benedict, what say you to my deductions?
How? He is turned as white as a hard-boiled egg. It would seem that once again Mr. Sholmes has made a flawless deduction.
Just who do you think you are, sir? Oh yes, as I hoped. That is precisely the pained expression I was looking for.
Max Dane, you should play Psychonauts. You think you're in it somewhere and you never got around to it. Oh yeah, it's a fantastic game. Aside from the last level, that's really annoying. But other than that, it's a fantastic game. which is of course why I was so excited for the sequel. Max Sting, does Sholmes always pose in those dance moves, or is he mocking Eggert? Nope, he does that all the time when he isn't punching the air. And Steerech. Just before we begin, Max Sting has redeemed random trivia. Okay, random trivia. I guess it should be something Sherlock Holmes related. Okay, this is something people know pretty well anyway, but when Sherlock Holmes canonically died, before Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was convinced to bring the character back, allegedly people actually wore black armbands in the street as if a public figure had died. Cecily Coffee? Nope, this is actually berry tea. Oh yeah, I guess it does look kind of black, but it's actually red. I won't be drinking caffeine this late, and I prefer my coffee white anyway. Yep, very tasty indeed. So, shall we begin? The time has come for yet another Sherlock Holmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Okay, topic 1. Mystery Man's aim. First of all, we must ask ourselves, what business ventured you to this pawnbrokery today? Max Sting, your coffee is not admittedly very tasty because it's just instant. I use an AeroPress for mine. Those are fantastic. I mean, it's not like perfect espresso or anything, but it's good enough if you want a coffee in a few minutes. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having had the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand, yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place is the staff crewman flyer. The piece of paper in your hand is a staff wanted advertisement from this very shop. Yet, even the most unobservant would soon realise that a man of your appearance has no need of such employ. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane, of which you unwittingly clutch onto your person, exhibits an incontrovertible contradiction. What utter rot! I've had this cane for years. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the missing ferrule. I was going to say that the initials are completely different, but Max Sting, you do have beans in a French press, but you're saving that for later this week. That's fair enough. I have a coffee subscription, so I get like a kilogram of pretty good coffee every month. But I was actually thinking of seeing if I could change it so it was half decaf and half not, so I could drink coffee in the evening as well. But I might need to switch to another provider for that. The end of any walking cane will be terminated with metal ferrule to protect the wooden tip. And yet, detailed analysis shows the wooden tip of this stick to be utterly bare. Therefore, there is only one conclusion. The rod that you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. It's a sword cane. Yep, exactly, Max Sting. He uses the goggles. Max Sting, you've had to kill so many of your subscriptions to everything, and with the tariffs coming up, the price of coffee will never go down again. Yeah, kind of a mania with your orange bastard, isn't it? You recoil, sir. Is something wrong?
And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer of the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Okay, is this going to be a reference to Baccarati? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. Oh yeah, here's the best bit of trivia actually. Sherlock Holmes was said to be a expert in Baccarati, which is allegedly what he used to survive after after Conan Doyle brought the character back from the dead. Baccarati was actually a martial art invented by an Englishman called Bartholomew, who combined his name with created a portmanteau of Bartholomew and karate after allegedly studying martial arts, and was mostly built around the use of a stick as a walking stick as a weapon. Yeah, that, and he walked in his own footprints backwards to hide that he survived, like in The Shining. If he tried to hit Sherlock Holmes with that thing, he'd just land on his arse. Yep. Whether he could hit Sherlock Holmes is another question. The handle, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. From the moment I saw it, my suspicions were aroused. What walking cane demands such a stout handle, mused I? It's a sword cane. But of course, as I said, this is no walking cane. No, that rod. Is the broken handle of a shovel. Max Ding, the handle has rules. It's true. What? Are you insane? Yep, he's been carrying a shovel the entire time. And now, having determined this undeniable truth, the conclusion is clear. Your true motive for coming here is the grave rob. Max Ding, all to better bury the dead with. Was to take employment at this establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises. Exactly an Ellis, or possibly a spade. Max Ding is one of the tunneling mysteries. What a calculated crime you have conceived, sir. A wickedly calculated crime. Okay, so why is he tunneling under the store? Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have in the planning. Max Ding, like that one with the printing press company that was just reprinting an encyclopedia or whatever. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath this pawnbroker with a broken shovel? What on earth do you propose I could expect to find there? He's challenging him to a dance-off, I guess. Some long-forgotten treasure, I suppose. Save for such a fanciful theory, what possible reason could I have to do as you say? Oh, but there is ample reason. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Ah, and your furtive relance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let us consider what would motivate a man to infiltrate a shop such as this and covertly dig beneath its floor. Max Ding, that was one of the first home stories you read that indicated his physicality, because he was like, yeah, I get to run now. Yeah, like, my Lancer character is basically a hacker, but I made a point of making it very clear she's also pretty athletic herself. Because there's something, I do kind of like the whole idea of having a smart character who is actually physically fit.
the rinse-wind equation, as it were. Sorry, the rinse-wind principle, as it were. The answer is revealed by the council notes on the counts to which your eyes are inadvertently drawn. This letter gives notice of public works to be carried out in the local area. And according to the enclosed plan of the upcoming sewerage works, beneath this shop runs a sewer that adjoins another, one that runs under the bank on the opposite side of the road. Notice, the surprise positive strength modifier is an underused classic. Exactly. I mean, strength modifiers aren't really a thing in Lancer. It's like, narratively, you can just have your character, well, it works more like Blades in that you get skill triggers, and then everything, it doesn't really matter too much in mechs anyway. You had a sorcerer with +2 strength mod. He beat a lich by pushing him into his own lava pit. Yep, and of course I had grounded the rogue with proficiency in strength in athletics and acrobatics. And what a fun time that was. This madness has entered the sewers now, has it? By excavating the ground beneath our feet, you would gain access to the waterway that flows in very close proximity to the Great Vault, the financial institution opposite. What are you... In summary, sir, you devised a master plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by dint of underground tunnels. Master plan? Which brings us to, at last, to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. With what plunder did the thief hope to make off from the underground vault of the bank? Are you quite serious? Having consulted with Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. But naturally, the answer is no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. A postcard of the Great Exhibition? I'm afraid you're quite lost me. Currently in the final stage of preparation, the Great Exhibition will soon be underway. Notice, of all the things the DM answers with, time stop, which the Lich just uses to slowly swim out to the side and start climbing out of the pit. Not fly, not teleport. Time stop. I mean, it's not a Lich unless they use a level 9 spell to undo something the player did. Just saying. And the government has provided extra funds to complete its centrepiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds that currently sit in the vault of the bank, on the other side of this road. Pardon? Yes, a considerable crime you've been contemplating is the theft of that which sits in the vault of that bank, the special reserve funds of the Great Exhibition. I have no idea why I can't say the word exhibition right now. Of course, that is top secret police information, so keep it under your hat, please. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this pawnbroking puzzle. Yeah, granted, basically, so, obviously this was, in, this Nick's streamed D&D game, so you can go, anyone can see the VOD, but basically, penultimate boss, granted, he, sort of cast out an anti-magic field. Wait, sorry, no. He basically, the entire party had artifacts that he made himself, so he basically just switched them off and was like, "Ooh, what are you going to do about your magic?" And granted answered that by simply grappling him while we held him inside an anti-magic zone. And, like, to be fair, he did get lucky and break out, but he was held there for, like, a couple of turns just to get beaten down. And then with the final boss, we basically did the same thing. She grappled the boss and we just carried him away from all the sort of minions and stuff for a personalised beatdown, which was fantastic. Although, to be fair, Groundon wasn't really a nerd as much as a jock, but she was a rogue, so not stereotypically strong. Max Ding, you kind of love athletic nerd characters. You're not athletic, but you're also not very educated either. The character Talita from Runaway to the Stars is a gym rat and a nerd's nerd, and can outrun the train on her Nexus Jovia. Only for a few seconds, though. Her species on persistent hunters. Okay, that is pretty cool. Mr. Sholmes. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, an impressive upbeat deduction for a detective racked with loneliness, would you not agree? Was it true what you said about the bank over the road and what it has in its vault? Indeed, though few knew of its existence, it is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. Gregson told me, in the strictest confidence. But you just announced it to everyone here, rather loudly in fact. Oh. And if it's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it? There can be but one explanation for that. Clearly it's because the man is a criminal. To be fair, the police know about it and they're the biggest criminals of all, so it tracks. But what if he didn't know anything about the money in the vault? If he is a criminal, as you said, then buying a brand new shovel is sure to be the first thing he does now that you've revealed the secret. Oh. Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Winterban will. He already has plenty of shovels here, after all. Oh, my life, I assure you I'm not so unscrupulous. Well, hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with utmost care. One can never be sure that someone privy to secrets won't disclose them. And once the word is out, it's out. Perhaps I'll think twice before confiding in you next time, Mr. Sholmes. An excellent idea, Mr. Naruhodo. An excellent idea. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, you know what to do, I'm sure. Yes, let's listen to that great deduction again, and see if we can massage it into shape. Very well then, let us start once more from the beginning. Of Herlock Sholmes's magnificent, logic and reasoning spectacular. Max Ding, you like that he has a good sense of humour about this? Yeah, he is a pretty fun character. Okay, so I won't read this dialogue out again. Max Ding just generally laughs at the idea that confiding in him was a foolish choice. Yeah, that's kind of a running gag. He'll just point out he was completely wrong about everything, and he'll just laugh it off. To be fair, he does wear his L's well. So, by Mr. Sholmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came here in order to apply for a job so he could dig down through the floor. Yeah, he is he's just like a silly himbo detective. Yep, in an attempt to tunnel into the sewers to gain access to the money in the vault of the bank across the road. But he wouldn't get very far with a broken shovel, would he? Max Ding usually hate Holmes's pet stashes. Yeah, this version's pretty fun. I mean, I especially like the 7% caramel bar gag. No, I think it's fair to say his motives lie elsewhere. Of course, the best adaptation of Sherlock Holmes is The Great Mouse Detective, and I will not take any ads or replies to this.
The question is where, and what did bring Mr. Benedict here at this particular point in time.
Maxine, you weren't really into that movie yourself? Oh, that's fair enough.
Okay.
Hello? Look at all that the scribbled notes on the back of the fly here.
I don't believe it.
What is it?
Yeah, that's a doodle of Lestrade. Name, Gina Lestrade. Height, 5'2". Green cap, scruffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrade.
Goodness.
There's even a sketch of her, hat and all. Although if you showed it to her, she'd fire that smoke grenade launcher in his face for sure.
And look, the details of this shop has been written down here too. Winterbank's Pawnbrokery, Baker Street, redemption deadline, 15th of April.
Which is today's date.
Okay, he had crib notes. Maxting, so his real intentions were? A stalker.
He's headed to Chernobyl. Why did Mr. Benedict have all that information scrawled on the back of that piece of paper?
Why indeed? Why?
Indeed. Yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place is the info about Miss Lestrade. Quite so, my dear fellow. It would appear that the writing and sketch on the reverse of the flyer pertain to the pickpocket Miss Lestrade and to Mr. Winterbank's pawnbrokery here. You originally told us that you had merely given chase after Miss Lestrade stole the redemption ticket from you. But that, sir, is a thinly veiled lie.
Love how angry she looks in the background.
It's the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean here to Winterbank's pawnbrokery and state the redemption deadline of that overcoat. So, you waited outside for the young girl matching the description you've written down to arrive. And you've gone to some lengths to hide the reason for your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane which you unwittingly clutched to your person exhibits an incontrovertible contradiction. What's at the wrong?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obviously going to be the initials here.
What's a ferrule?
It's a metal cap commonly found at the end of a cane, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, the bit that makes the nice clacking sound on the pavement.
Yes, exactly. And Mr. Sholmes is right. It appears to be missing on this cane.
But it doesn't actually look broken, does it?
No, it doesn't. The gentleman certainly did recoil when Mr. Sholmes identified the cane as suspicious.
In other words, there's something secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather we didn't know. Look here, Mrs. Atto. There are some letters on the handle.
Oh yes, those must be the initials, you think?
Okay, it's McGinnis's cane. It's got its his colours.
In the West, it's customary for people to engrave their belongings with the first letters of their names.
So Herlock Sholmes would be HS, you mean?
That's right. And the initials in this cane, obviously. Oh.
AG? Why does that feel as though it's not quite right?
Maxine, you missed it, but does that mean also the coat was also AG's? The disc also was addressed to McGinnis. Wait. Oh, hey, it's the camera.
let's have a look round. Stylish as it no doubt is, I don't think this white top hat suits the man, do you? No, not at all. The more I look at it, the more something strikes me as suspicious about it. I think perhaps it's the fact the band is missing a texture. It's not so much that it strikes you as suspicious, but rather the hat is just striking. I suppose you're probably right. Perhaps the hat isn't what we're looking for. Anyways.
Take that!
The contradiction which I speak of is, of course, the initialing. Oh yeah, the coat's well, the coat's not quite the same colour, it's just a black coat. A most astute observation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Gert Benedict? We're led to believe, sir, that your initials are EB. Or not EB. Yet, in a most possessive manner, you have in your grasp a cane bearing the initials AG. An incontrovertible contradiction indeed, would you not agree? No, you're wrong. This cane isn't... You said before that you had this cane for years. So don't try to tell us that you borrowed it from a friend or found it in the park. In short, though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. Maxting, this cane belonged to my old man. To be fair, a green and brass coat would be pretty cool. Oh hey, just had a note saying Willow commented on one of my YouTube videos. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? Oh, well, What's the truth behind this rod you bear? Yeah, let's work out if it's actually a shovel. Maxting, how incredibly infuriating would all this be? Huh? Let's consider the bare bones of what happened here. Mr. Lestrade redeemed that fine-looking overcoat, and now a mysterious man has appeared, introducing himself with a fake name, and claiming that the overcoat belongs to him. Maxting, just to be this egg art guy and the folks are tearing him apart. I mean, he kind of deserves it, I think. He was lying, clearly. Oh, welcome back, Nellis. But we know he actually identified Mr. Lestrade from a written description, which suggests that everything else he's told us is untrue. So what we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. Okay. Okay. How do we prove the overcoat isn't his? See him on the shoulder there is coming apart, look. So it is. Do you know, a moment ago when Mr. Benedict was surprised by something that was said, I thought I heard him make a rather strange noise. It sounded a bit like a tiny growl. Hey Nivik, Link, how's it going? Can you believe it? Keen I indeed. In fact, I guess you could say that everyone is giving Mr. Benedict some stick. Maxting, you get spooked when people talk about you behind your back, even when it's compliments. Dissecting you to your face, picking at every little deception you'd explode. No less, Google Updater was probably updating something you never use and hogging all the disk resource to do it. And you didn't feel like risking killing it. Oh, fair enough. You like that one, Maxting?
But now I think it was probably the sound of this seam ripping open.
If you look closely, it does seem to be a very tight fit. The sleeves are stretched to bursting, and you wouldn't have a hope of fastening it at the front. If you were to run around in it, I'm sure the whole thing would fall apart.
That's what I'd like to see.
Sorry?
So how can we make Mr. Benedict run around?
She's really giving this some thought. It's a rather strange handle for sure.
Yep, certainly unusual for a gentleman's cane. You expect to see such a cane being twirled charmingly by its owner as he merrily skips down the street.
You do?
Oh, something has just occurred to me. We have a shovel back in her office, don't we?
Yeah, you're right, and it's handled exactly the same shape as this cane's. Here we go. Now I'm starting to wonder if it's not actually a cane at all, but a spade.
Mr. Sholmes's deductions are curious and compelling, aren't they? Okay, so I guess the contradiction is the tear, which proves it doesn't fit him. Max Ding, are you suggesting that we call a spade a spade? No less. Rhinosuke should offer to help Gina sue him for damaging the coat. Exactly.
The split seam which you evidently would like to conceal is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. Yes, because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. Having forced over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicions were aroused from the outset. When you so boldly lied about your name and so boldly waylaid this pickpocket. Ugh. This catalogue of untruths has been here for one very specific purpose. To steal the article that the young girl redeemed from Mr. Winterbank.
Yeah, spin, motherfucker. Pardon my French. Oh, yeah, fun fact, that bit of, the expression pardon my French actually originally started out to mock people who'd, pretend to lapse into French to sound posh.
But what really irks me is this. The considerable crime I initially imagined has been considerably curtailed.
Thank you for the quote, Nellis.
Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue.
Max Sting, you suppose, given some of the people who asked Mr. Holmes's help, and under dubious attempts at disguise, it's kind of easy to imagine Holmes clearing the name of a mere pickpocket too. You think he always preferred the bigger fish anyway? Yeah, to be honest, if I was a world-famous detective, I'd help out minor criminals, just on principle. Nevik, let's spade a spade. Yes.
You suspect that I, a gentleman, designed a wheeze to filch some tawdry article of pawnage? Have you forgotten that I redeemed the article in the proper manner, using the watchword? Had I not been the one to deposit it in the first place? How could I possibly have known the relevant details? N'est-ce pas? Une pipe?
Speaking French to sound intellectual.
Oh, but the watchword can be discovered. As you're only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Ah, and your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let us consider how one might come to learn a secret watchword relating to the pawned property of another. The method is revealed by the council note.
Okay, it's not going to be the council note anymore, is it? The direction of the deduction must change rather dramatically now, I think.
Yeah, no more talk of tunneling into the sewers. which is a pity because it all sounded rather exciting. Anyway, you can't deny that this mystery gentleman did know the watchword. Maxine, to be honest, you might just be able to ask the pickpocket how she found the watchword. To be fair, she might have known it legitimate. Wait, is that a Pikachu with a snowman? Yes, Professor. If you didn't know that word, Mr. Winterbag would never allow you to redeem the article. Or looking at it another way, if you did know the word, Mr. Winterbag would allow you to redeem the article whether it was yours or not. So the question is, could this gentleman have found the watchword out somehow? Maxine, that might be a cat, but it might be a Pikachu. A detective Pikachu. No less shocked Pikachu face. Is it a Pikachu? Can I see the note? I can't see the photo. Day ruined. Nevik Link. What is that? A reindeer going ha ha. But it does look like a palette sort of Pikachu face. The old lamp. Oh, a shocked deer. Fair enough. This looks to be quite an old lamp. But it is obviously well looked after. And there's oil in it too. In other words, it's still in use. Yes, that would appear so. But as for how it could be related to Mr. Benedict knowing the watchword for the pawned article, I have no idea. Nevik is from the Ha Ha Holidays limited emotes. Oh yeah. Twitch keeps doing that seasonal thing, doesn't it? That makes two of us. Just the two of us, you and I. Baker Street Works is the title. Yeah, and it does mention Sewerage Works, as Mr. Shome said. Oh, and specifically mentions that this night's sale at the confectionery shop on the corner won't be affected. Case solving first, confectionery later, Mr. Naruhodo. Curse my overly expressive face. Pawnbroker's revolver. This is Mr. Winterbag's gun. Yes, loaded with only one bullet, he said. It would appear that being a pawnbroker is a very life or death profession. That might just be this particular establishment. Oh, speaking of Pokemon. No, look, no, no, look, no, 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 no. No, look, no, no, look, no, 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 no. Sorry. Wait. No, look, no, no, look, no. Ledger, ledger, ledger. No, look, no, no, look, no. Ledger, ledger, ledger. If you're wondering what kind of brain worms I picked up as a kid. Nevik Link, you're so confused. Okay, so in the Pokemon anime first season, in the episode where Diglets first appear, there's basically an enormous amount of Diglets and a few dog trios. And because of course Pokemon say their name, basically the Diglets while they were doing stuff all chanted, Diglett dig, trio, trio, trio. Diglett dig, trio, trio, trio. Maxine, you think you remember that? Yep, and it's haunted me ever since. However long it's been since the 90s. Like 5 years, right? Nevik, you need to watch Pokemon Season 1 still. Again. Yeah, I mean, maybe I should go back and rewatch Pokemon. Look at this, Mrs. Zato. Oh, it appears to be a memo that Mr. Winterbag has scribbled to himself. Let's see. What does it say? Oh, Professor. Mr. Winterbag must make a note of the watchwords his customers give him, right before their eyes. And in an alarmingly clear script as well. Maxine, what you need to finally get round is Serial Experiments Lane.
Heck yeah. Yeah, if I recall correctly, I think... Does that have the same voice actor as someone from Life is Strange? I keep forgetting who. Notice there's a bit in that episode when one Diglett pops up and goes Diglett in the tiniest, most babyest voice. It's true. Diglett. Never including the episode that banned Porygon, one of your favourite, despite it being Pichu's fault. Yep. To be fair, it was the flashing. They got the episode banned, not the actual Pokemon either way. And of course, the episode, The Beauty and the Beach, which was banned because James was wearing a convincing bikini disguise. And so the 1,000 trans headcanons were launched. Oh yeah, that's one of the episodes that was never actually aired in English-speaking markets, as I recall correctly. Oh dear, I don't know where to look. Who knows what other secrets I might see.
Take that!
Max Dean, you favour the interpretation that James's relationship with Gender is not cis, but you leave further interpretation up in the air. Yeah, that's fair. The method is revealed by the nodeless on the counts to which your eyes were inversely drawn. Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure whenever a customer comes to redeem an article. He asks the customer for the watchword and notes down the response uttered on the notelet he has to hand. Then he consults his ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. Max Sting, you've seen the pics, is a popular one for talking about James as a character. Anyway, you've got to take off. Oh, thanks for dropping by. I hope everything you're doing this evening goes well. Or whether it happens to be in your time zone. Either way, I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope it's a great week. Thank you for your continued support of Tiefling streamers. I would expect nothing less of a diligent pawnbroker. But his diligence clearly has its disadvantages. What are you talking about? It's extremely apparent that you were present in the shop for your accusation against Miss Lestrade. In all likelihood, you followed her inside and observed her talking to Mr. Winterbank. When the diligent broker made a note of the watchword, as is his common practice, you observed him writing the word Professor on the notelet beside the ledger. And that, sir, was the master plan you devised to steal the pawned article from the young Miss Lestrade. Master plan? Which brings us, at last, to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. Why would you go to such lengths as to redeem that particular article from this pawnbroker? Are you quite serious? For an ill-fitting overcoat that hardly seems to justify the effort, much less a worthless music box disc. But naturally, you had a very good reason to make them yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this okay. And I know the evidence we need. Yep, exactly, Nihilus. You're fiendish, Master Plan. Earworms from, you know what, never mind. Yeah, I'm not familiar. The articles we're talking about are the overcoat and the music box disc that was in one of the pockets, which according to Mr. Winterbank isn't even worth a penny. And yet this man went such lengths to steal them. Why? I wonder if perhaps we already have the evidence we need to explain it, Mr. Naruhodo. Could we? Really?
I'd better have a thorough look through all of the evidence we've collected so far. Okay, let's do this. Present. You see, this music box disc tells us all we need to know. What's that? On the back. It reads, for McGilded. Ugh. Ah, Mr. Magnus McGilded. The unfortunate philanthropist who perished in curious circumstances at the Old Bailey 2 months ago. A prominent man in London, though his loan-mongering demonstrated a distinct lack of scruples. So, you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? Mr. McGilded was a man of unusually small stature, in fact. He was precisely the right size for that overcoat that you squeezed yourself into. Exactly, Nevik. And I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids. Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Eggert Benedict. But the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGilded. Yeah, he has the tastiest pseudonym. We were actually talking earlier about how to make it. Playing a children's card, getting caught out in a lie has given him a heart attack somehow. Yeah, that coordinated dance, no less. You know, it just occurs to me, the sort of vampire lore guy, when he does that sort of weird pointer finger, it's kind of like how you'd hold a knife. Like in a saber grip or something, with the finger over the blade. Well, well, Mr. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear in these circumstances. Notice you don't guess the stream's buffering a lot for anyone else. I've got no drop frames, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Nevik? Nope. Okay. Yeah, it might be on your end then, Nolis. Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind. Pray tell, Miss Susato. Well, according to what Mr. Winterbank told us earlier, today was the final day in which the coat could have been redeemed, was it not? Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Today would have been precisely 2 months since it was first deposited. Now, at least you've got your turn low latency back on. It's what you get for asking for anything from this creaky laptop. Yeah, I know what it's like to have a laptop that doesn't work too well. I mean, up until like a year and a half ago or so, I was streaming on one. Well, today is the 15th of April, so 2 months ago today. Would have been 15th February, sir. That's right. It's all too carefully recorded in my ledger. Twas tis at 10:30 PM, I see. What? But that suggests... Yeah, 15th of February. It's precisely the day on which the omnibus murder took place. And at 10:30 this evening, is precisely the time at which the terrible events were unfolding. Suggestive is not the word. It would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence. Nevik, past Valentine's Day murder. You're of course at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose, however... Bear? Okay, I wasn't expecting him to just pull a gun. I was expecting a sword cane. I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. Oh, hey Koto, how's it going? Yeah, we've just proven this guy was lying to try and cheat her. Urchin girl out of a coat. And he just pulled a gun on us. Exactly, Nevik. He's going to hurt his wrist from the recoil. To be fair, we do know there's only one bullet in that gun. Because it's the pawnbrokers. And he's mentioned that repeatedly when he was holding it to his head. How are you doing today anyway, Kote? What did I do? Absolutely not. Okay, let's save. There are some things a man must protect at all costs. A random item I just learned about 10 seconds ago. This may well be one of those things. Nerlis, closest task manager? Holy shoot. Yeah, he just pulled a gun on us. Then again, it may not. Okay, no, that's not Mr. Winterbank's gun. He's already got his. Mr. Winterbank? This is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life. Mr. Winterbank, no. Alright, that's enough. Okay. Oh, hey, it's this guy. Alright, that's enough. Inspector Gregson? Inspector? That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines, so we got here as fast as we could. Now, what's all this about, eh? Oh, praise be, you're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life in my very own establishment. Notice he's pointing it right down the tomato can too. What? Oh, the camera. Looks like Benedict has egg on his face. It would seem you have the upper hand. No less, Luke Westaway with a moustache is back. Who knows, maybe we'll see that in the next season of Deadlands. Right, you lot of explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy. Pessy, Mr. Winterbank very nearly met with his end. Yeah, by his own gun as far as I can tell. Oh dear. And the whole of Britain could meet with its end if I don't get to the bottom of this case I'm supposed to be working on. What? What on earth is the case, Inspector? Spare no detail, Gregson. I might have said a little too much there. Ooh. Yeah, I should really sort out those custom emoji, those redeems with some custom emojis. You know, maybe if I'm really lucky someone will raid us. Because that's a really funny one. I might have said a little too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, sir, you're gonna have to come with me down this station. But of course, Inspector. He's getting away.
Did he just dance away?
After him, lads. Whistle be officer too. Sir.
Exactly, Nellis, he's spin dashing away.
There's been a spurt of thefts at pawn shops around here recently, so we've fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Oh, Inspector, I was very worried for a while. Very worried indeed. Now then, Mr. Permanent morning.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGilda's down to the yard, thank you very much. Stand it over.
Oh, yeah, of course. No, don't give it to him. It's mine. That is, it's mine.
I'm sorry, miss. Anything belonging to Mr. McGilda has to be taken in as evidence now.
Nevik, that guy actually has the hots for the inspector. No accounting for taste, I guess.
As evidence? If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector.
Poor Gina. What are you up to? 3 hours 20 minutes. Okay, that's just blown by. And so we handed Mr. McGilded's disc over to Inspector Gregson, and was summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street.
To be continued.
Should I call it here? You know, I'll go on a bit longer.
of April, Baker Street.
See, that's why I hate grown-ups. All they do is feed you a pack of lies and then take stuff away from you.
Oh really, Miss Lestrade? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm?
You what? Am I? Surely you were given that. Yeah, the Deed let me keep it after I looked daggers after him for long enough. You went through the pockets and said, go on then, have it, before telling me to scarper. Yeah, Nevik, you what, mate? You starting something? You starting? Always pays off giving people a look like you ate them. I can't help feeling like that's going to get you into serious trouble one day. Okay, this kid has proficiency in Intimidate. What I really appreciated was that nice shiny disc mind. Okay, she can be impressed by shinies. The music box disc. But Mr. Winterbank said it was practically worthless. I think I'm gonna have another bash. Give him a long hard stare.
I think not, Miss Lestrade. We shan't enter Winterbanks again today.
Why not? That's not fair.
It can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now, and taking a statement from Mr. Winterbank.
But that is mine. I had the ticket for this coat, it was in the coat's pocket. And there should be something else and all. That's what the Ross and Cove said, ain't it?
Yeah, he did mention something about another article, didn't he?
Well then, that's mine too. Whatever it is.
Now she's really pushing her luck. Miss Lestrade, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day.
Yeah, and it's all your fault, Sholmes.
So what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening?
Eh?
Oh yes, we'd be delighted to cook, I'm sure. And I might entertain you with a modest violin recital.
No tap?
Oh.
Why'd I come round to your place, eh? Have you lost your head or something?
Whoosh. Oh dear, she's gone. Having quite reviled on me unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway. Interesting. Once she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Very well then. I'll inform Iris to set a place for our potential guests at the dinner table this evening. And one more thing. Okay, Columbo? I should be glad of your company later too. Sorry. I believe I'll have a rather splendid surprise to show you. Oh, how exciting. What is it? You shall have to wait and see, Mr. Zato, until later then. Interesting. Okay, do we have anywhere else to go? Okay, we can't go back to the pawnbrokery. April, 3:46 p.m. Sholmes' suite. Oh, Susie, Reno, come in, come in. Good afternoon, Iris. Thank you so much for breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already. Busy as always. I am. I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening. Already? You're obviously cooking something special, are you? Koto, 221B, Straker Beat. Well, here's the thing. It's still 221B, Baker Street. Apparently that's in public domain, but Sherlock Holmes isn't. Notice, this background music always reminds you of Civilization Revolution. Not familiar. But I think it's Iris's theme tune. Oh yes, after all, we have a special guest joining us. Guess who it is? Go on. You'll never guess. Look at those stars first shining. Oh dear, it is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it? It's Ginny. Isn't that exciting? Oh, what a surprise. Yes, that's wonderful news. Nevik, this child looks weird. You think it's the hair? Yeah, to be fair, her goggles do sort of seem to clip into it. I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional. You're not fair. Oh yes, that does sound like fun. Suzaku does not approve. I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate. Are you, Mr. Naruhodo? Koto, she looks like that one UTAU Lloyd. I assume that's some sort of Vocaloid thing. No less. Civilization for console babies. Xbox 360 but dumbed down compared to the main series from what you've seen. Oh, okay. By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to? I'm never really a fan of the Civilization games, or those general sort of, create a, well from scratch sort of things. I did like RTS though. Koto, UTAU is like open source Vocaloid. Okay, that's cool. My understanding is that Vocaloid is British software, but Hazune Miku, the most famous Vocaloid, is a Japanese voice bank. Hurley? Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back. Hello, Mr. Sholmes? I beg that you won't speak to me. Sorry. I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. As you can see, I'm not here. I don't know how to respond to that. I do apologise. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything. Yeah, I see. Notice you played Warcraft 2 on your old computer, Sam, but mostly didn't care for RTS when it's unless it's turn-based. Yeah, I kind of liked RTS, but I was never any good at them. Like, I tried playing StarCraft a few times at university, but everyone else just completely butchered me. I did like KKND Crossfire for the PS1 though. She really behaves just like a child sometimes, Hurley does. Mr. Sholmes and Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they? Yeah, except that Iris is clearly the parent here. Come to think of it, I wonder where her real parents are. What's the matter, Reno? You have ever such a funny look on your face. Oh, no, it's nothing. I know what it is. Why does this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes? You're wondering. Am I right? How? How did you... Oh, Reno, I can read you like a book. Okay, I kind of love this running gag of Rhinos K being really easy to read. This girl is dangerous. Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind. Okay, let's get some Iris exposition. Okay, Ginny. So by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the McGilded case 2 months ago? I mean, I think it would be a bit blunt to ask her why she's so weird, Nevik. Besides, kids are just weird, aren't they? Yep, you also stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher. And apparently kept it. Although, after that trial, I invited her back here and we had dinner together. And now we're the best of friends. Oh, what a lovely town. Yep, now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can. Oh. And I chased her down. And I chased after her down the back alleys. Interesting idea of friendship. I too get nervous and run away when I see my friends. And then I let her have the latest colour of smoke grenade I've developed. Oh. There's so many beautiful colours in the world. Julian wants me to make a whole rainbow. There's no heterosexual explanation for this. Nellis, she's very NPC who sells your equipment upgrades coded. Yeah. I think Lestrade is in her own game, where she's just literally Garrett from Thief. And she keeps having to buy upgrades from Iris. I suppose this means you've let Miss Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you? See you in a bit, Nellis. Yep, that's right. I'd got bored of it anyway. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now. Poor Hurley. Jeez, no wonder he's depressed. I can't wait for Ginny to arrive. It's been too long since she last came over. I'm so excited. I just hope she actually does come by. Oh wait, this is a murder mystery game and she's got an appointment to keep. Oh no. Okay, living with Sholmes. I'm sure you've been wondering why it is I live here with Hurley, haven't you? Well, it has crossed my mind. That and where are your real parents? My mummy and daddy aren't with me anymore. Well, that got dark. Mummy passed away when I was born. And that's around the same time, my father, well, he had to go to a faraway land because of one of the cases he and Hurley were working on. Oh no. Wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley? Yep. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysteries and cases together. She didn't mention that before. He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the metal chest over there. Really? He recorded them all? So, you mean it's true? Mr. Sholmes really did have a partner with whom he tackled some of his most taxing cases?
Oh yes, I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it?
So Mr. Sholmes' partner was your father?
Exactly. Hurley told me I wasn't allowed to look in the chest, but that only made me want to look even more, so I opened it up and found your father's memoirs. Yep. So I asked Hurley, who wrote these? He nearly fell off his chair. But then he told me, that's when I found out that the author of all those accounts was my father.
So Iris's father was Mr. Sholmes' partner?
Don't tell me Iris's father was the guy who was murdered in the first case. I practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. Okay, I guess not then. So it came as quite a shock when Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy. I mean,
it must have done.
I wonder why Mr. Sholmes chose to tell you, and at such a young age. Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from you. Me. Oh? Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might have to say that his ways have rubbed off on me. There are some things I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying before they even open their mouths sometimes.
Right.
Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, actually. I always assumed Mr. Sholmes told you all those thrilling stories. Oh no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he solved a case, it all but vanishes from his mind. Oh, I see. The other day it was so embarrassing. As usually, totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone.
You can say that again.
You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson. I learnt from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see. That's what prompted me to study so I could earn a doctorate as well.
Iris's father, who went to some distant land, and is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson. The court will now hear the trial of Rhinosuke Naruhodo. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson.
Okay, I guess, yeah, it was him. Notice, as soon as Sholmes says anything, it vanishes from his mind. Every 3 seconds is a new world to him. Exactly.
That's right, visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yumai University, and the man who, in the most bizarre of circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan.
Okay, wait though. So, she was told he was dead when she was little, but he only died like, what, half a year ago?
Mrs. Atto?
Yes.
Perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time.
I think that would be for the best.
Ah, my dear fellows, how good to see you.
Mr. Sholmes?
Why ever did you not make your presence known to me before? Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you?
We've been with you for most of the day.
Goodness, really?
Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed?
My violin? Whatever are you talking about, dear madam?
Oh,
Never mind that now, I have something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows.
Oh, another music box disc.
No, not another disc, Miss Susato. This is the one Gregson demanded we hand over as evidence. Mr. McGilded's disc. Oh my. Then what's it doing here? You know it's times, Mr. Naruhodo. I think that's though I have an undeniable turn for the detection. I may well have been even more adept at larceny.
That would be wonderfully exciting. I'd be your pickpocketing assistant. And Bruno could be our go-to lawyer if we ever got caught.
Right.
Plus, Susie has such beautiful handwriting, she could write our menacing crime notifications. Yes, I'd be delighted. Me signing up as someone's minion.
I'm just going to pretend this conversation never happened, I think.
Let's go for the next lockdown. Okay, what are we at? 3 hours, 37 minutes. How much tea do I have left? Some. Okay, literally one more sip left. I think that's because the time is needs to finish then. I guess we'll get back to why Sherlock Sholmes decided to steal that disc on Wednesday. If only because my voice is beginning to go a bit. You have a good one too, Nellis. Let's see who there is to raid. Okay, so now we're streaming some Minecraft. Some are streaming something called the Museum of All Things. Well, it's been a while since I've raided Summer, so let's give her a raid. Summer B76. So yeah, I'll be back on Wednesday with more Ace Attorney. Sadly not wearing my Tiefling cosplay. Thursday I'll be back on my own channel for some more of a Guinness Pig. It might be the last part of that D&D session. Sorry, D&D adventure. Will the party uncover the truth of their friend, or will something just bad happen to them? I'm hoping for the latter. And then Wednesday I'll be on Nick's channel for some Guild Viscount's adventures. In which case the party is having a bad time, wherein it turns out their friend is a supervillain. So yeah, not much else to say. Hopefully I'll have my jacket finished soon, then I'll be making some ears for this cosplay. That'll be fun. And we're going to raid in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, raid's going through automatically, so I'm just going to wait a second. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Yep, there we go. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment and subscribe. Tell me what your favourite, tell me what crime you'd be guilty of in the, what crime you'd be accused of falsely in the Ace Attorney universe in the comments below. And you're still my favourites.